자, 오늘 가져온 게임. 내일이 할로윈이거든요? 그래서 전야지로 공포 장르를 좀 가져왔는데, 아! 죄송한데, 갑툭튀 이런 거 있나? 가죠? 야한 건 안 나올 땐요. 어둠이 내려앉은 공간. 어떤 공포에 직면하더라도 마음을 굳게 다잡고 헤쳐나가세요. 갑작스럽게 끝나는 결말은 없습니다. 아울러 잘못된 결정 또한 존재하지 않습니다. 그저 다른 관점과 새로운 시작만이 있을 뿐입니다. 이 이야기는 연애담이니까요. 하! 연애담 맞아요? 일단 사운드 체크 좀 하겠습니다.
오늘도 자체 징계 받으시나요?
아니 그래도 할로윈인데 뭐 갖고 와야 되지 않았나 해가지고요. 근데 소리 괜찮은 것 같은데? 한번 해볼게요. 슬레이더 프린세스 챕터 1 용사와 공주.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
그래요? 움직일 수가 있네?
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
왜? 공주를 처치하지 않으면 세상은 종말을 맞이한대요. 뭐야? 근데 선택이 여기 있으니까 잠깐만. 아니야, 나는 여기 계속 있는 게 맞고 채팅을 딴 데로 유배시키죠? 나무 뒤에 아무것도 없어. 세상이 정말 무슨 소리 하는 거야? 공주를 가둬놓는 바람에 공주가 세상을 끝장내고 싶어진 걸 수도 있잖아. 공주를 죽이는 건 나쁜 짓 같은데 안 그래? 다른 사람 시키면 안 돼? 됐어, 안 할래. 선택이 왜 이렇게 많아요? 다른 사람 시키면 안 돼?
Unfortunately, you're the only one who can pull this off. I don't make the rules. I wish I did, but I don't.
그러면 이걸 물어보죠? 무슨 소리 하는 거야?
I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her.
아니 공주를 왜 끝장내야 되는지는 알려줘야지. 세상 종말한다는 게 그게 끝이 아니 뭐 진전이 안 되네. 그러니까 갇혀 있는데 어떻게 끝장님?
Linger on the specifics.
뭐야?
You have a job to do here. Just get in there and do what needs to be done. We're all counting on you.
그러면은 다른 선택지 생겼는데? 이렇게 하자. 오두막으로 가서 공주랑 대화를 해볼게. 공주가 내 말처럼 나쁜 사람이라면 공주를 처치할 수도 있어. 하지만 공주를 직접 만나기 전까진 아무것도 하지 않을 거야.
Then I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But a word of warning. If you go in prepared to hear her out, she could easily trap you in her web of lies. And the more you listen to her honeyed words, the harder it'll be to pull yourself out.
뭐지? 공주 말에 귀 기울이지 말라
Then
했는데?
each and every one of us is doomed. So sure, go, talk to her. See how that turns out for all of us. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess
이
within.
오두막? 이상한데? 어떻게 일단
We're
가.
not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them.
그러니까 뭐 자세하게 얘기를 안 해줘가지고.
Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
뭔가 무서워요.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer
아니
of
진짜
dust.
허접한 오두막인데?
The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade.
이거?
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
챙겨? 그냥 들어가면 안 돼? 얘기하다가 이상하면 다시 가지고 나오면 되지 않을까? 아 챙겨갈걸!
The door to the
뭔가
basement
무서운데?
creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is
공주가
probably doing
정말로
her a
이런 곳에
favor.
산다면 차라리 처치하는 것이 자비를 베푸는 건지도 모르겠대.
Her voice softly carries up the stairs.
Hello?
오,
Is someone there?
It's hypnotizing.
황홀하대.
It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
아니 무기 가지러
You're
다시
playing a
볼까요?
dangerous game by coming here unarmed.
안녕?
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Please, come downstairs.
무서워. 튀어나오는 거 아니죠?
You
놀래라.
walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's beautiful. How could
아니,
someone
평범해
like this be a
보이는데?
threat to anyone? I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. Do you think you can get me out of these chains?
근데 왜 한쪽만 묶였지? 얘기부터 해봅시다.
Okay.
좀 무서운데요? 너무 가까이 온 것 같은데? 이름을 물어볼까?
Oh.
She pauses, carefully formulating her words before she responds.
왜?
You can address me as Your Royal Highness. Or you can just call me Princess if Your Royal Highness is too formal.
Is Princess her name or her title? What if
그러게?
it's both? Could you imagine being named Princess Princess?
이름이 공주야? 공주가 네 이름이에요?
Like I said, you can call me Princess if you'd like.
공주가 아닌가 본데?
I'm sorry, I've been down here so long, I guess I've just forgotten. I must have a name, though. Everyone has a name.
Okay, that's weird.
이름이 왜 없지 너?
She hadn't even thought to pick a name for herself. Hopefully, you're starting to see that she can't be trusted. Go
이상한데?
back upstairs, get the blade, and slay her before it's too late.
그래, 나 너에 대해서 아는 게 없어.
Of course I'm locked up down here for a reason.
왜 갇혔지?
I don't actually know what that reason is, but you don't just stuff a princess in a basement and throw away the key without there being some sort of an explanation, right?
닫아놓고 열쇠를 그냥 버렸다고?
You have all the explanation you need, and you should know better than to trust whatever she comes up with.
그래. 오랜만에 만나는 사람이 나면은 뭘 먹고 헉, 이거 물어보면 갑자기 저 깨부른 거 아니에요? 너 뭘 먹고 화장실을 어떻게 다녔는데?
I don't see what that has to do with anything.
너 뭐야?
This is the only time this is ever going to happen, but I agree with the princess. That's hardly relevant. Okay, but actually, what has she
그래,
been
뭐
eating?
먹고지? 나
She has to
잡아먹는 거
eat,
아니에요?
right?
여기서 내보내주면 뭐라 할 생각이죠?
The princess hesitates before responding. She doesn't know. She's been down here too long to have any idea
아니
of what
용사는
she'd
그냥
do in
공주한테
another
홀딱
life.
빠졌는데?
She knows what she'd do. She's just searching for whatever answer she thinks you want to hear.
무슨 대답?
Are you looking for the truth, or are you looking for the right answer? Because with the dynamic we have going on here, I don't think the specifics of what I do really matter.
말 왜 이렇게 빨라?
It's not like you'd believe me.
오. 나 널 처치하러 왔거든? 너가 세상에 종말을 불러올 거라고 하던데? 아직 뭘 믿어야 될지. 근데 나 사실 이상하긴 해, 얘. 너 이상해.
Would everything feel right about you if you were locked away in a hole by yourself for as long as you can remember?
아니, 나 한 끼만 안 먹어도 난 배고픈데 너는 어떻게 버티고 있는 건데?
Just how long has she been down here?
So, did they tell you why I'm supposed to be so dangerous?
어째서 그토록 위험한 건지 말해주던가요? 너가 말해주면 안 돼?
I don't know how to destroy the world if that's what you're getting at.
그냥 무고하게 잡혔다고 얘기하는 건가?
I believe her.
아, 이 용사 여미새예요?
She doesn't have to know how to destroy the world to be capable of doing it.
어떻게 파괴하는데?
At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why.
그래, 이유를 안 알려줬어, 나한테.
I don't trust that. And I don't think you do either, or you wouldn't have come down here to talk.
근데 나 이거 마우스가 움직이는데 다 이유가 있는 것 같거든요? 너 여기 뭐 숨겨져 있냐?
She has a point. We're talking like this for a reason.
So this shouldn't be about what I'd do if I got out of here, or me saying the right thing to convince you to save me.
아니, 너 어떻게 버텼는데 여기서?
This is about how messed up this whole situation is. This is my life we're talking about.
아니, 구해주러 온 사람한테 이렇게 건방져 너?
Do you really think I can even end the world? Why would I even want to?
그건 그래. 세상을 왜 끝내려고 할까?
We both know that if there's people we can't trust in this situation, it's whoever locked me down here, and it's whoever sent you here. And those two groups are probably one and the same.
Don't let her turn the tables here.
뭘
This
믿어야지?
isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for
위험에
the sake
관한
of
거지.
one person, and a subjugating monarch, no less.
죽이지 않겠지만 풀어줄 수도 없다. 너무 위험하거든. 내가 잠시 여기서 당신과 함께 있으면 어떨까? 칼날을 가져오는 거. 그 다음에 사슬을 살펴본다? 아니야. 괜히 꺼내주면 안 될 것 같고요. 일단 말 한번 걸어보죠. 일단 잠시 같이 있자고 하죠.
That seems like a pretty good compromise.
I don't think I could bear being down here that much longer.
너무 무서워.
Leaving her alive is too risky. If you don't deal with her soon, she will find a way out. So I'm the only one who liked that idea.
아니, 묶여있는데 어떻게 도망치겠어? 안 풀어주면.
One way or another, I'm going to find a way out of here. It would make it easier for both of us if you'd help. But if you don't, I can promise that you'll regret that decision.
나 무서워 갑자기.
You have to make a choice. Let's hope for all
왜
our
저
sakes
협박해요?
it's the right one.
칼 갖고 온다.
Thank you. You turn back to the stairs, intent on
잠깐만.
retrieving
뒤돌아
the
있는 동안 뭐
blade.
잘못되는 거 아니겠지?
Where are you going? You can't just leave me here. Fine, turn your back on me, but it won't be long before I slip this chain. chains. And once I'm out of here, there will be hell to pay for leaving me behind.
Slip these chains? She
사슬
can't,
어떻게
right?
풀어놓아?
She needed our help to get out of here. But do you hear the conviction in her voice? I don't think she's bluffing.
뒤돌아봐야 돼요?
She has to be bluffing, but hurry. You rush up to the first floor, grabbing the blade, both yours and the world's only possible
마우스
salvation.
포인트가 칼로 바뀌었어요.
Okay, if we're sure about this decision, I'll support it. I suppose we have a world to save after all.
아니, 공주 너무 이상해. 찔러야겠어.
You slowly creep down the basement stairs. It's quiet.
슉슉 슉슉.
Where the princess sat only a moment ago, there's only a severed arm, its cooling flesh still chained to the wall,
미친 사람 아니야?
and she is nowhere to be seen.
클릭하고 싶지 않은데요.
Is it just me? Or did this room get a lot bigger?
여기서 안녕이라고 불러본다고? 아, 안녕?
Why don't you come closer? I have something to show you.
개 무서워. 끝내자.
Your eyes dart to the corners of the room. You don't see her.
아, 악마잖아.
Where is she?
근데 내가 뒤도는 순간 찌를 것 같은데? 한초 살아가면 너무 무서운데요.
As you step towards the severed limb, you hear the pattering of feet behind you, soft against the basement floor, then loud and desperate against the stairs.
이 자식. 아니, 이 자식이 아니구나. 이거 지금 팔 자르고 런친 거임?
You turn to chase after the princess, but she's fast.
아니,
and has too
오래
much
갇혀
of the lead.
있었다면서 왜 이렇게 빨리 도망가요?
She slams the door behind her before you can make it to the top of the stairs.
우리
The
얘기 좀 하는 게
lock clicks
어때?
into place. No.
Thanks for letting me out. I'd return the favor, but I think we both know that I can't trust you to let me stay free.
With those
열어줘!
parting words, the princess walks away, her quiet footsteps eventually fading
헐,
as she leaves you and the cabin to rot.
아!
You're
저
stuck here.
갇혔는데요?
It can't just end like this, right?
그래, 이렇게 끝나는 거 아니지?
As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. I'm sorry, but you don't know how much time passes before the end. But eventually, it comes.
마침내 끝이 찾았다고?
The world ends, and you end with it.
챕터 2. 아, 나는 이미
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a
뭐지?
cabin. And in the basement of that cabin
챕터 1은
is
그렇게
a
끝난 거야?
princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't,
뭐지?
it will be the end of
다른
the world.
용사인가요? 근데 세상이 망했다고 했는데? 나 여기서 죽었었는데?
I can assure you that you're not dead. And to answer your second question, you're here to slay the princess. I literally told you that a second ago.
아,
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. Brilliant. We need to keep our cards close to our chest, and I'm not
이게
sure
또
we can
누구야?
trust him.
기계주의자 목소리.
You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think.
이번엔
to keep
찔러
secrets
죽인다.
from me. Did I say I'm not sure we can trust him? Slip of the tongue. Bit of the
정신이
old
살짝
brain
오락가락했나
fog.
봐.
I meant to say that we should probably head over to the cabin and slay that princess.
그래,
We already know we can't
공주는
trust her,
믿을
so
만한
let's get on
사람이
with the
아니라는
show.
걸 알았으니까. 가자. 이건 또 무슨 거지? 내가 하는 말이 진실이고 이 모든 게 실제로 이미 일어났었던 일이라고 가정해보자고. 내가 왜 당신 말을 들어야 하지?
Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or or at least a
다른
version
버전?
of me. You died last time, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. We were just weighing our options in a morally ambiguous situation. You can't blame us for weighing our options.
그러게 나 용사 아니었어?
I can if you failed to slay the princess, which you apparently did. So great, congratulations. You've been given another chance to actually do this right. And I believe your other question was something along the lines of, oh, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences.
그래요?
What do you mean? Of course there weren't any
나오네 용사.
consequences. The
그럼
princess locked us in
비주의자는
the
누구지?
basement, we eventually died, and now everyone's right back where they started. Sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time
그냥
simply
시간이
rewind itself, or were you
재감긴
instead
건가?
transported to a different world
아니면
entirely?
제3의 지구로 간 건가?
If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died?
내가 죽은 다음에 종말이 났다고 했잖아.
Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would? That's a very good point. This princess character seems like a lot of trouble.
종말이
And
와서
if you think
죽었다고
about it,
했다고?
actually
그러면은
slaying her probably breaks us out of this cycle, right? We don't want to be stuck here forever, do we?
제2의 지구 이런 곳 아닐까 여기 지금?
You're laying it on a little thick,
공주
aren't you?
죽이자 이번에는.
Laying it on a little thick? What are you talking about? I'm sharing my honest
왜
opinions.
사람이 2명이 늘어났지?
What matters is that almost everyone
아니,
seems
한
to be
명이
on
더
the
늘어난
same
거지.
page. So whenever you're ready, you can stop dawdling, get to the cabin, and save the world.
공주에 대해서 얘기하지 마. 그냥 가.
A warning before you go any further.
예.
She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power. Don't worry,
아이고,
I
모르고
think we've taken
클릭했다.
that lesson to heart at this point. You can trust us
그리고
to get the
공주
job done.
이번에 안 믿을게요. 아니, 쥐 손목을 자를 정도면은
The interior of the cabin is a mess of twisted roots. The walls are chaotic
그러면
weave
다른데,
of
위치가?
knotted wood that, almost as if by accident, just happened to resemble a room. The floor is
여기
damp
어디야?
and earthy, and the only furniture of note is a slab of mud in the shape of a shelf, with a pristine blade perched on its
거울도
edge.
있는데?
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
거울 보고 싶은데? 오두막이 전체적으로 지난번과 달라졌어요.
Very different. Maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll finally drop that ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the princess.
오케이.
So focus up. A lot's riding on this.
거울을 보자. 거울에 대해서 한마디도 안 있잖아.
That's because there isn't a mirror. There's the muddy shelf, the blade sitting on the muddy shelf, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else
거울을
in
못
here.
보는데?
There's definitely a mirror.
거울 있는데요?
But he says there isn't one. That's got to count for something, right?
얼마나 잘생겼는지 확인하고 싶거든? 이거 왜 두꺼운 글씨로 돼 있을까? 선택해봐야겠다.
Oh, I'm sure we look great. If only there was some sort of reflective surface we could examine.
그러니까 나머지
Absolute
둘은
shame
이
there's
상황이
nothing
안
like
보이나
that
봐요.
around here. You do see it, right? I don't know how to read you. I see all sorts of things.
온갖 것이 보여.
But do you see the mirror? It's a simple yes or no question.
보여 안 보여?
Help
얘도 보이네 이게.
me out here, will you? I'm not lying to you. Use your eyes. There is no mirror. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would a mirror even do? Let you waste time preening yourself instead of doing what needs to be done.
왜 거울을 못 보게 하는 거지?
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny.
나 왜 안 비춰요 거울에?
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall.
내 손 뭐예요
Hope you
이거?
know how ridiculous you look right now. Well, at least we can all agree now that there's nothing to see here. Case closed. Good
그래서 내
work,
마우스
everyone.
포인트가 손가락인데 손톱이 길었구나. 칼 챙겨.
You take the blade from the shelf. It would be difficult to slay the princess and
이번에는
save the world without a weapon.
인정사정 볼 것 없다.
Well, if we're grabbing a weapon, we should probably keep it hidden behind our backs. She doesn't have to know we have it. That's not actually a bad idea.
칼을 등 뒤에 숨기자고.
The door to the basement
여기도
creaks open,
달라졌는데?
revealing a staircase dug into the muddy earth below. The ceiling is thick with roots that hang like locks of tangled hair. The weak starlight from the cabin windows behind you can barely penetrate the gloom here, only illuminating the edges of an
그냥
opening
화면이
below.
확 돌아가지가 않아.
Shines in the darkness like some kind of massive maw waiting to swallow you up into the earth. The air smells of dirt and copper. It's thick and wet, as if your lungs are being coated in mud with each intake of
여기서부터
breath.
멘트 비슷하다 여기.
If the princess
자비를
lives
베푸는
here,
것도
slaying her would
좋지
probably be
않을까?
doing her a favor. Her
근데
voice
화면이 이게
skitters
다임
up from
돌아가는 게.
below.
Something nasty finds itself on my stairs. Come on down. Don't be scared. I probably won't
공주
bite.
말투가 달라진 것 같은데? 누가 고약하다는 거임?
But you are. You're a wretched little thing. I recognize that voice as easily as I recognized your nervous little footsteps coming up the path. I
무서워요.
know who you are, and I remember what you've done.
See? She knows us. Is this enough for you to
아니
believe what
쟤도
we've been
이해 차임?
saying? Maybe, but you shouldn't let that cloud your judgment. She's just a princess. As long as you remember that and remain focused, slaying her will be easy. She seems friendly enough. Maybe we can talk our way out of this whole situation.
아니 안 착해.
You can't. Unless you slay her right away, she's going to break free and end the world. There's no reasoning with what she is. Look,
빨리
I'm
내려가.
just throwing ideas out there. I like to think out loud. I'm the kind of guy who likes a discussion. Don't we want to hear what everyone has to say before making any
그럴
big
수도 있겠어
decisions?
지금. 다중인격일 수도 있겠어.
Do you want to hear what everyone has to say? Or do you just want to hear yourself talk? You need to stop lingering. Your task is to slay the princess, not endlessly debate about what to do with the princess.
그래 공주 좀 보자.
Fine, fine. You're the boss. Thank you. You descend the basement steps, entering the dark room
아까
below.
공주랑 다르게 생겼는데?
You can just make out the shape of the princess in the gloom. She's huddled against the far wall, her eyes bright and glaring from amid the thick roots.
And there you are. One hand tucked away behind your back, gripping
뭐야?
that sharp, sharp blade, no doubt.
어떻게 알았어?
That's no fair. How would she know that?
So, we've dropped the pretenses. Good.
She's acting like she already knows.
얘 왜 손이 없는 거 같지
I
여기?
guess what you said back in the woods really was true. That's pretty sharp. How'd you figure that one out? Call it deductive reasoning. Well, you seem
아까
to be
자른 걔
great
그대로인
at
거임
it.
그럼?
So, you really don't remember us, do you? No, I don't. But you and the princess clearly have a shared reality, even if I'm not a part of it. I won't
뭐지?
waste time
알 수가
fighting
없네.
you on something that's clearly true. You fought us on it back in the woods. That was when the only perspectives we had were yours and mine. I'm just glad we could put all this behind
해설자
us.
좀 조용히 해봐. 선택지나 줘.
Is it all behind us?
아니 이쪽 팔이 지금 안 보임. 여기 팔이 없는 것 같아요. 그러니까 밑에 손이 없는데 손목서부터 없다고 해야 되나?
Just focus on the task at hand. I don't care if you've been here before, and I don't care if you think you'll go somewhere else after this. My world is on the line right now, so I'd appreciate it if you would take this seriously and slay her. Let's chat her up a bit first. Maybe we
얘랑
can find a
얘기를 해서
middle
뭘
ground
알아내야
where
되는 거지?
everyone's happy. Don't
아,
talk
손
to her.
있었나요?
You're
안
just going to make things
보여가지고.
more difficult than they have to be.
Well, I seem to remember you having a tongue.
지난번 얘기를 하는 게 맞을까? 지난번에는 미안했다.
Oh, smart. Let's apologize. Get us back on the right foot.
Oh,
손
you're
있네.
sorry.
없는
Isn't
줄
that
알았는데.
nice? You're such a gracious little monster.
내가 몬스터야, 네가 몬스터지?
If you're sorry, then let me out of here. Prove it.
찌르자 그냥. 그냥 공주에게 칼 건네서 좋을 게 없을 것 같아. 공주 푹찍합시다. 지난번에 날 대하는 당신 아니야, 말 없이 그냥 때리자. 찌르자 그냥.
Without uttering a word, you charge the princess.
기습?
So much for finding an easy way out. I can't believe you're making us work for it.
Better a violent fool than a plotting coward. Better for me,
뭐지?
at least.
아, 죄송, 잠깐 목이 너무 간지러워서. 일단 푹찍 선택했거든요.
As you close the distance, readying your
어!
strike, the princess's chain falls from her wrist.
뭐야, 묶여있던 척했던 거임?
She takes advantage of your split second of surprise and throws
아니
a
싸움
fistful
개
of dirt
잘하잖아.
at
이게
your
뭐예요?
eyes. She could have gotten out of those the whole time. That sneaky little
그래, 너 그럼 왜 가만히 있었어?
woman after my own heart, really. It's a shame we're playing opposite teams. This is why you couldn't just abandon her here. Left to her own devices, she would always find a way out. Now stop her.
You must have known I would be ready for you. Deep in your heart, you know the same things about me I know about you. We're both so very awful.
아니 이미 다 알고 있잖아. 이거 어떻게 잡어?
As you brush the silt from your eyes, the princess tackles you, flattening you against the dirt floor.
오,
We were always going to kill each other here, weren't we? I can't trust you, and you can't trust me, and those doubts spin and spin and spin into hate.
She buries her teeth deep into your chest, tearing at
아, 저
Wait, she's just- Stab her
잡아먹혔어요.
in the back. In for a penny, right? Why not? As the princess rips meat from bone, you plunge your weapon into her unprotected back.
일단 찔렀다.
Ha, you bastard! Even face to face, you find a way to stab me in the back. I know you. You're hideous, absolutely wretched, just like me.
Maybe we are the same. So what? Throw her off us, kick her in the shins.
그래, 바로 차.
We don't have to fight so dirty.
무슨 비열이야? 목숨이 지금 전부 다 뜯겼는데요.
Of course we do. Fighting clean won't help us win. It takes a wretch to know a wretch, and we're all at the bottom of the barrel here. There's no point in pretending otherwise.
그러니까 한 입 먹혔는데 지금.
Are we? At the bottom of the barrel. We've got dirt in our eyes and a chunk of us chewed out.
그래,
That's
흙
not the
맞고
barrel, what is?
흉부도 뜯기고.
No arguments here. You're doing great. Keep playing dirty if that's what it takes. But if we win, we won't be at the bottom anymore. We'll have climbed a little higher. And once we start climbing, well, who knows where we'll stop? You'll stop right here if you keep daydreaming. Don't let yourself get distracted thinking about what comes after. None of us ever said we stopped fighting.
그래, 맞아, 싸워.
What a
아,
low
또
and
뜯겼어.
vicious fight it is. Eyes gouged, skin scratched bloody, hair ripped and nails broken. Every rule there ever was in the book of honourable combat. Both you and the princess have broken a dozen times over. That's nice and all, but are we winning?
지고 있는 것 같은데?
Nobody's winning.
헐.
I thought playing dirty was supposed to give you the upper hand, but I suppose that doesn't work if you both sink to the same lows. Still, at least you're not
그러게,
losing.
나 왜 깃털 같은 게 있지?
The princess cackles maniacally as the fracas continues. But behind her cackle, you hear the low groan of warping wood. Wait, what's going on? We're establishing a newer, better...
뒤에 나무 뿌리 움직이는 소리 나는데?
No, the groaning thing. Why is the wood making noise? Who cares about the groan? It's just a sound. Things make sounds all the time. I care about the groan. Does that
죄송한데
mean
이
something
싸움
bad
중에
is
왜 자꾸 한눈 파는 거야?
Oh, yes, well, I'm afraid that's the sound of the basement getting
Eh?
smaller.
Do you hear that, you pathetic wretch? Those are the roots of the wild, and they're coming to choke the breath from your lungs and squeeze the
지하실이
life out of you.
좁아진다는데요?
Excuse me, what? You and the princess disengage for a brief moment, just long enough to get your bearings. Behind you, the basement door has been sealed over,
왜 둘 다 갇힌 거야?
barring your only exit from the dirt pit. And slowly, but
That's right. They're coming for you. And they won't stop until there's nothing left down here but them.
와서 싸워!
you attack the princess once more, and once more the two of you fall into a vicious brawl. The basement continues to shrink as you fight, but neither of you paid any more mind.
일단 죽이기만 하면 끝나는 거 아니야?
Late. The roots twist around you both, binding your limbs and rendering you helpless. As your fates close in, all you can do is watch her.
이렇게 보니까
All
좀
she
이쁜
can
것 같기도.
do is watch you. At first, it's almost gentle. The two of you lifted delicately off the ground. But the cradle of the growing roots soon gives way to tightness. And that tightness gives way to
막혀서
bulging
지식사
pressure as they
당하겠네.
begin to constrict. The sound of creaking
좀
wood is
잔인하다.
drowned out by the snaps and pops of your bones, pain flooding your senses as you feel your skin deform, being shaped unnaturally by the living basement. Tears well up in the princess's eyes, her own bones splintering and flesh swelling with trapped blood.
근데 왜
But
웃고 있지?
still, she
죽어가는데?
smiles through it all.
I can't wait to do this again. You wretched little thing. I hate you, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
The pressure is unbearable. You can't breathe, your vision swimming with red, your head
잘못된
pounding as
선택을 한 것
everything
같은데요, 저거?
tightens. And then you pop. Everything goes dark, and you die.
또 죽어? 챕터 3 The Wild.
We are a path in the woods. We have no beginning, and we have no end. But
그러네.
something
커서 모양이 또
cold
바뀌었네.
and unnatural sits watching us from just beyond our edge. His gaze pushes against our borders, curling them in on themselves, preventing them from stretching to the places they need to reach.
No, that's all wrong. You're not a path
뭐야,
in
나
the
이번에
woods,
내가
you're on a
공주야?
path in the woods. Who's even saying that? That's not the princess, is it? Oh no. How many times have you been here?
아니야, 뭐야, 공주 소리만 들은 건가?
I think this is
그렇네.
our third? That's bad. That's very, very bad. It wasn't even supposed to reach 2. If you're at 3, well, no wonder things aren't the way they're supposed to be.
커서 무서움.
Let's get our facts straight. What happened last time?
공주
What could you have
호감도를 쌓았어야
possibly
했나봐요.
done for things to be like this?
죽이는 게 아니라.
The thing that sits beyond our edge speaks his logic into us. He tries to grasp at things that cannot be
공주한테 잘해줬어야
grasped.
됐었나 보.
He tries to stare with wide pupils at that which can only be held from the corner of the eye or with a passing glance.
Shut up. The rest of you, talk. What happened? What did you do? Sure, there's no reason to keep secrets. Someone decided to go in guns blazing last time, and that someone got us killed.
그러니까 우리는 안 죽고 공주만 쓱싹하자는 거지. 근데 그게 쉽지가 않단 말이지. 공주랑 손을 잡았어야 했어, 생각해보니까.
And what should we have done? Let you
얘는 또
draw
뭐야?
things out with all that conniving. Everyone knows a straight fight is best. It's honest.
아, 챕터 1에서 죽은 애는 기회주의자고 챕터 2에서 죽은 애는 전투광이구나. 내가 찌르기로 마음을 먹었으니까. 그쵸?
There's no need to bicker about it.
내
I wasn't
선택이
trying to
기계주의자였나봐,
start
첫 번째가.
I don't mind what happened to us. I kind of like it now that we aren't actively being crushed. Yeah, now that you mention it, this isn't so bad.
And it's not like the fight is what killed us anyway, it was the
아,
cabin.
인격이 늘어나?
No point worrying about who charged who when that place ground us all into paste in the end. The princess included.
It was a fitting end. I'm sorry if it hurt, but doesn't this make it all seem so small?
징음하기 너무 무서워.
I see. So the cabin ground you into paste, and now you're convinced you're stuck together. What a mess.
He doesn't understand. We aren't convinced of
대체 여긴
anything,
어딘데?
and we aren't stuck together. We're one. This is how we're supposed to be. Can't you feel it?
어. 아니, 공주랑 사이가 좋아져야 돼. 일단 탐색 갈겨. 우리를 지켜보는 존재 말이야. 그 녀석은 정체가 뭐지?
I'm not watching you, I'm trying to help you.
That's not an answer to our question.
I don't know what he is. I only know that he is something other, and that he wishes for you and I to tear ourselves
사실
apart.
이거 거대한 페이크고 공주를 진짜 죽여야 되는 게 맞는 걸 수도 있을지도? 뭐가 진실이지?
I do want that, but only because it's in your best interests. It's in everyone's best interests. You won't be able to slay her unless you remove yourself from her.
He wants us to kill each other.
죽이라는 소리라고?
I don't. I want you to kill her. Don't be charmed by her faux solidarity. You're not in this together. She's the only one who poses a threat to the world, and she's trying to make you go along with it. You don't have to enable her, especially when you have what it takes to stop her.
아, 뭘까? 이 해설자 놈이 사실 세상을 종말시키려고 하는 그런 애였을까? 그냥 계속 공주를 찔러야 하는 걸까? 아... 어떻게 막을 방법이
We push
없을까?
back. It may feel like he's everywhere, but
해설자를
presence
밀어내보죠?
isn't strength. Otherwise, he would have torn us apart by now. There must be a crack in the walls
아니
of
근데
this prison.
공주도 좀
There
이상하긴
must be a
했는데
way for us to be free from him.
She's trying to use you. After everything she's done, you should be able to see that. I may not have been around to witness it, but clearly you remember what happened. How about you try remembering
얘가 뭐 설명도
how
안
it all
해줘가지고
felt?
내면을 들여다보고 자유를 찾는다? 해설자
You
버릴 수 있나?
fall inward into a network of connections too vast for your mind to occupy. Are you a path in the woods? Are you a body? Can you even grasp the fuzziest edges of the shapes that confine you?
We can change to fill them together.
근데 공주 너무 무서워 폰트.
We don't need to be everywhere at once, just in the right place at the right time. You'd do best to remember that some wounds will never heal. Some rifts can never be mended. Even in
이 마지막
rebirth,
줄이
some things never
심하고.
come back the same.
What is he going on about? What does he know about us?
He can't make us quit, no matter how much he tries. He knows that talking's all he can do. Of course he's gonna try and confuse us. You aren't whole. You'll never be whole again. This
왜 이렇게
struggle
저주를
is
내리지? 해설자 이
meaningless.
녀석?
Whatever you think you're doing, you will fall apart.
We don't need to be made whole. All we need to do is find a single corner of his cage and break it.
당신이 있어야 할 곳은 분명히 있어. 찾기만 하면 돼.
You stretch and search and stretch and search, growing as you decay and decaying as you grow. As you strain beyond your limits, the ground around you becomes dry and unstable and crumbles into nothing beneath you. This place will fall apart before you find its end. This task, whatever it is,
뭐
you
일단은
think you're
탈출하려고 하는 건가?
doing is impossible. All the more reason to keep trying. Come on, we aren't tired yet. That's right, I know a loser when I see one. Call his bluff.
I can hold us together for a little while longer, so long as you trust me.
아, 공주 목소리 사실 거짓부렁 아닐까? 널 믿을게.
You won't find anything if I have to starve you. If I have to sacrifice my world to keep the princess at bay, I'll do it.
당신은 무언가를 찾아냈다. 그것은 차갑고 부드러웠다. 살짝 휘어지던 무언가는 당신의 의식에 눌러 금이 생겼다.
Don't move an inch. Don't grow another blade of grass or harvest the remains of another
근데
dying
해설자
creature
말을
so
믿어야
you can
되는 거
expand
같기도 하고
just
아
that
선택을
much
못
further.
하겠어. 근데 일단은 공주 찾는 거
Stop all of
선택했거든.
this right now.
I think it's too late for that, mate.
I'm at your side. Shatter it and free us all.
세 장을 부순다.
No, stop!
하지만 그의 우선은 유리가 깨지는 소리와 함께 사라졌다. 잠시 당신과 공주는 세상에서 가장 작은 구멍을 통해 있어야 할 곳을 응시했다.
Job well done, team. Just like I'd planned. Oh, can it? This was all of us, fighting as
뭐지 이
one.
그림.
Is this what he kept from us? Is this why he made us kill each other?
It's
뭔데?
beautiful.
잘 안 보여. 뭔데? 그것은 그렇게 사라졌다.
Where did it go? Why is everything so cold?
그러나 당신은 공주의 말에 대답할 수 없었다. 뒤로 고개를 돌리자 공주는 사라지고 없었으며 다른 무언가로 대체된 뒤였다.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
거울을 한번 보자.
Something dreadful about it. I don't think you should.
Screw the mirror. We just need to find the princess.
왜?
If they think it's bad, I'm with
왜
them.
거울 못 보게 해?
I'm begging you, don't do this.
전에는 거울에 겁먹지 않았잖아.
It's different now. It feels, I don't know, final.
당신은 거울에 다가간다. 앞으로 손을 뻗자 침묵이 내려앉는다. 그들은 사라졌지만 거울은 남아있다. 이제 거울 안에 무엇이 있는지 확인할 차례다. 나다. 나 왜 이렇게 못생겼지? 당신은 텅 빈 공간에 홀로 있다. 이곳은 정막이 흐른다. 오두막으로 향한다. 당신은 오두막에 있다. 공주에게 다가간다.
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
당신 정체가 뭐죠?
I am solitary lights in an empty city. What are you?
텅 빈 도시의 고독한 불빛? 그게 무슨 뜻이?
Thoughts without connections. A dim and nascent network. I wish to be more.
내가 뭐라고 생각하시죠?
I think that you are like me.
사람이 아니라는 건가요?
We are oceans, reduced to shallow creeks.
이게 세상이 종말인가요?
How can the world have ended if we are talking?
그러면 뭔데? 당신 공주입니까?
She is part of me, and part of me is her.
처음부터 당신이 공주였던 거야? 아니면 공주를 당신의 일부로 삼은 거야?
You speak in circles. Does it matter where one thing begins and another ends?
공주를 밖으로 꺼내줘!
I'm sorry. There are some changes that can never be undone. There are some tears that can never be
아니
unshed.
말을 되게 어렵게 한다.
This is not a place that can hold a fragment of a concept. The moment she arrived here, she was going to return to me. I promise that it doesn't hurt.
존재를 공격한다. 당신의 의지가 눈앞의 존재를 가로지르지만 아무 일도 일어나지 않는다.
My roots burrow in an ocean beyond your sight. We cannot harm each other as we are now.
해설자를 아세요?
You are the only thing I have ever known.
게임이 좀 심오하구만요.
그러니까 엄청
Nothing comes
심오한데?
here but us.
그럼 이제 어떻게 되는 거죠?
Nothing as we are. But I know
이거
that
결국
there are worlds
내가
beyond
나를
us,
부셔야지
and
끝나는 것
that we
같네.
are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole. And
더 많은
perhaps then
관점을
we will know
가져오라고?
our freedom.
당신의 파편을 얼마나 더 찾아야 돼?
More than you have found, but less than there are to find. I am infinite.
아, 뭔가 이렇게 그 공주랑 얘기하면서 그 실마리를 가지고 여기로 왔어야 됐나 본데? 나는 세상을 멸망시키려는 공주를 처치하는 임무를 받았어. 당신을 도와주면 세상을 망하게 할 거야?
You ask of things that cannot be done.
아, 맞네.
She asks that I tell you to remember her. You won't.
와우. 와우. 그러면
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a
진정한
cabin,
게임의 시작이라는데?
and in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it
그럼
will be the
이번에는
end of the
공주랑
world.
잘해봐야겠구만. 참고로 본 적 있는 대화는 키보드의 탭 또는 컨트롤러의 R1 버튼을 눌러 건너뛸 수 있습니다. 그러면은 오르막으로 가야죠 뭐.
You make your way up the
여기 앞부분은 스킵해도 되는구나. 칼을 처음부터 챙겨갈 필요가 있을까? 일단 가져가 보자.
You take the blade from the table. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room
아,
below.
이거 칼 들고 와가지고
This is an
스킵이 안 되네.
oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. Her voice
Who's there?
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the
뭔가
manipulation.
달라진 것 같은데? 안녕?
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess.
처음 봤던
There's
그
a heavy
공주야.
chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world? Focus on the task at hand.
난 칼을 들고
And
왔지만
there
죽이진 않을
you
거야.
Are you here to kill me or something?
왜 이제 여기 왔단 얘기를 하지? 난 그저 대화를 하러 온 것뿐이야.
Then why did you bring a knife with you? How about you drop it, and then we can chat.
그냥 그 열어줄 수도 있잖아,
She
칼로.
makes a compelling point. What if we just dropped the blade and talked? Look at her. It's not like she's a threat. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. Killing someone in cold
그래,
blood
난
isn't
공주랑
very
얘기를 하고
becoming
싶어.
of us.
얘를 넣는다.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
Against your better
역시
judgment,
가까이 오니까 좀
you
무서워.
step forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no
조용히 해.
reasoning.
네 말
So here
스킵해.
we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
네, 얼마나 오래 있었음?
Too long.
그렇게 별로 안 친절해진 것 같지?
Note the lack of detail. You can't trust her.
왜 아까는 되게 꼬리 흔들지 않았어?
You can't. Don't bother.
못 꺼내줘 여기서?
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't, well, we can always put that knife to good use.
야 눈빛이 왜 돌았어?
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade.
칼 괜히
She
들고 왔나?
isn't suggesting what I think she's suggesting. Right, she is. I'm sure of it.
네가 세상을 끝장낼 거라고 생각하는 사람들이 있어. 넌 어떻게 생각해?
Don't just tell her that.
왜 화내?
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long time.
Just how long has she been down here?
진짜 오래 갇혀 있었을 듯.
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall?
근데
Have they
이
told you
말도
why I'm
맞아.
allegedly so dangerous?
내가 여기서 내보내주면 뭘 할 생각이야? 난 그자들의 말보다 네 말을 더 믿고 싶어.
Sooner or later, you'll understand that I have your best interests at heart. Hopefully soon.
조용히 해, 설자.
How sweet. Now be a pal and help me get out of here, would you? We could figure out how to deal with them after I'm free.
몇 가지 질문이 더 있어.
Fine. What do you want to know?
이름 뭐야?
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as your Royal Highness or Her Majesty.
역시
Any one of it should
말투가
do,
완전
really.
달라졌어.
Again, she offers no specific.
조용히 해.
Oh, have you decided?
You know what.
나는 사슬 조사할게.
You have to be kidding.
꺼내줄게.
You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall. and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
힘으로는 못
If you
끊기지.
don't
굵어
have the
보여.
key, maybe you should go looking for it. I'm sure it's somewhere upstairs.
Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of
근데
day.
나 위층에 올라가는
They
순간
wouldn't
얘가
have just
칼
left the
드는
key
거 아니야?
pouch
칼
hidden
괜히
somewhere
갖고
in the
내려왔다. 열쇠가 없다면 다른 생각이 뭐 있어?
That would be fine. I can lose an arm.
헐.
She speaks with almost complete nonchalance.
왜 이렇게 다른 사람 같나?
If we were stuck down here for long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out. Anything to finally be free. You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place.
누가 있었는데 여기?
Is someone else here? You try the door, but it's locked from the outside.
누구세요?
You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the
와,
task
뭐냐?
is done.
이봐!
Your shouts and pleas are met with silence. I'll repeat myself once again. You make
공주야,
your way
어깨 우리
back to the bottom of the
갇혔어.
stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd simply slain her like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
나도 갇혔다 야.
The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
You won't like what happens if you do that.
손을 잘라야 된다고요? 구한다.
Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the princess's arm, just above the massive.
아니 이렇게
unwieldy
그냥
head.
칼질한다고요?
You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp and you make quick work of it. Before long, you're able to crack through bone.
근데 칼로
Pulls
뼈를
the
어떻게
bleeding stub
잘랐어요?
of her arm through the iron gauntlet. She didn't so much as utter a sound.
네가 사람이냐 진짜 비명 한 번 안 지르는 거?
Free from her bindings, the princess turns to face you, her fierce gaze meeting your eye. How is she so composed after losing
안
an arm?
아파요 공주?
It's like she isn't even bothered by it.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
전기문으로 향한다.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I just can't let her escape into the world.
나 마우스 끝에 피 묻어 있음. 님들 보임? 디테일한데?
As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do
뭐야
that.
해설자가 내 몸 조절하고 있음.
Watch.
조절이래. 조종하고 있어요. 공주에게 경고한다. 와 이거 개 무섭다 이거.
Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into her back, but the princess swiftly moves out of the way before you can connect. Stop it! Stop resisting me! I am trying to get you out of here alive.
저항한다.
The blade. Move the blade.
You're doing your best to help me, aren't you? I can see the conflict in your eyes. I'll make this quick.
뭐 하시려고요?
She steps forward and pries the blade from your rigid hands.
Maybe I'll see you in another life.
And then she slits your throat with an almost clinical ease. Her face remains unchanged as she watches you collapse to the ground, blood flowing from your butchered neck.
저 죽었어요?
This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die.
근데
I hope it
공주가
was worth
다음에
it.
또 보자 했잖음? 어? 챕터 2 이름 왜 죄수로 바뀌었지?
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And you're here to
이거는 네 세금수는 다 알고 있어.
My tricks? What on
개수작
earth are
부리지
you
마.
talking about? We've just met for the first time. Don't forget what he did to us the last time around. I wouldn't trust a word out
나
of
왜
his
이번엔
mouth.
의심이
There's
됐지?
got to be a way out of here, for us and for the princess. We just
칼
have to
들고
keep
내려가서
trying.
의심이 됐나 보다.
I'm inclined to agree. If he doesn't remember what happened last time, maybe it's best to keep it that
칼을 안
way.
들고 내려갔어야 됐나 봐.
You know
아, 그런가?
I can hear
해설자
you,
의심해서 그런가?
right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep. And as far as trying to help her,
돌아서서 떠난단 뭐야?
I'm not so sure running away is the best idea. We're not the only person stuck here. What about... Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're
돌아서서
going?
그냥 가는 게 있네. 이건 뭐지? 아니야, 공주를 또 만나야 될 것 같아.
I guess we...
가보자.
Good. Going back to the cabin is the only way we can get to the... A warning. She will lie. Yeah. Did you just say... No, I didn't. Just ignore...
의심의 목소리는 찡긋찡긋거린다네.
The interior of the cabin is
방이
less
이번에도
a
다른데?
cozy woodland retreat and more like a dungeon. A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting stone walls, and the
해설을
only
하지 마.
furniture of note is an iron table. The blade is your...
그냥 지하로 들어가죠.
I'm afraid I'm going to insist we take the blade. Are you sure?
아니야,
Yes.
나
Turns
칼 안
the
들래.
gate. She's a... Okay.
아니, 칼 안 챙기고 싶은데.
Normally, yeah, but not about this. Call it a reflex. One.
아, 결국 챙기네
You do
이거는.
exactly. Don't worry about. No, you don't have
일단
to
내려가.
do anything, but you do well to use it regardless. The door to the
훨씬 좋은
basement
곳에
creaks
갇혀 있어,
open,
공주가.
revealing an old stone staircase. A few sputter her voice.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's been a while.
Does she remember us? You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. She looks up at you, the heavy collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves. The chains
아니,
binding
이번에는
both
왜
her
이렇게
wrists
많이
to the
묶여
far
있대?
wall, joining the metallic
저번에
cords
한번
as she
탈출해서 그런가?
adjusts her hands in her lap. Should we be worried about the one around her neck? Why would you be worried about her restraints? If anything, they'll make your job easier. Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place
이거
where everything
뭔데,
seems
이거?
to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so obviously useless.
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in
그래,
my
얘기 좀
heart.
하자. 옆에 앉는다.
You step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one shackled hand.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted this out.
그렇네. 왕관도 달라졌네요.
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon.
그리고
Might as well
목소리가
put her at
한결 좀
ease.
편해진 것 같기도 하고. 앉으라는 곳에 앉죠? 말 잘 듣죠?
You do as she asks and sit on the floor, still a good distance away from her.
Thank you. Now, what are your intentions for me?
널 구해야지 뭐. 내가 마지막으로 죽고 나서 무슨 일이 있었어요?
Oh, are we talking about that? I thought we weren't going to give away the game. But sure, I'll fill you in. Nothing happened. You died. I went upstairs. I couldn't leave.
아,
I found myself in a new place in chains again.
맞네.
More of them.
팔 같은 경우 그냥 잘라서 가버리니까 이제는 못하게 그렇게 해놨네.
And now you're back.
Is that really all she knows? It's not like we have much of a clue about how things work. And she's probably even more in the dark than we
의심의
are.
목소리 개웃기네.
You're looking at me like I might be hiding something. I'm not.
I guess it's possible she really doesn't know anything. Maybe both of us are stuck in this loop without any idea why or how.
난 이미 공주를 믿기로 결심했어.
First you make a comment about having been here before, and now this. As much as I would like to remain in denial, it's no use.
해설자 못
This
믿겠어.
has complicated things. It's complicated things how, exactly? Ideally, this was supposed to be one and done. You go to the situation right now, a contingent for you failing. Obviously, if you knew this
이거는 아까 전에
I
했던
needed you
그런
to be
멘트
in the dark for
비스무리한
as long as
것들.
I could keep you. And that's pathetic. I get it. It would be pretty upsetting, wouldn't it? To know that you might not be the first version of yourself. Exactly, he gets it. You're lucky. Moving on.
조용히 해. 공주 가만히 있잖아.
Swim into dangerous waters. Your success hinges on you having imperfect. Just give it a rest. This is
Focus. This is a serious situation. You
난
shouldn't be
공주랑 더 얘기하고 싶어.
daydreaming.
저건 누구 거죠? 이거 이
I
족쇄?
don't know, but you could always try it on. Maybe it'll fit.
내 거예요?
I hope I don't actually have to say this, but please don't lock yourself in chains. We need you ambulatory if you're going to save the world.
족쇄를 조사한다.
I wouldn't do that if I were you. And why is that? Do I even need to explain myself? It's a shackle and it's one without a key.
왜 조사
Do you want
못하게
to be
하지?
stuck here like she
그러니까
is?
강렬하게 말리니까
And
더
what?
보고 싶은
Is
걸?
it going to lock the second we put our wrist into it? I don't know. Maybe it will. He doesn't want us to look at it. That's all the
의심하는 거
reason
봐.
we need
마음에
to
드네요.
investigate.
해살짝 의심하는 거.
But what if he's telling the truth? He isn't. I am.
조사.
Against your better judgment, you approach the chain dangling from the far wall. The princess watches you with faux disinterest as you inspect it,
공주도
though she can't fully
궁금하겠지.
hide her curiosity.
눈 초록초록한 거 보셈.
I don't want to say what I'm supposed to say next. What is that supposed to mean? It sounds bad. Is it bad? Yes, it's bad. Come out and say it then. You're just wasting time. Fine. As you hoist the shackle, its heft shifts within your grasp, as if pulled by some odd magnetism. Before you can so much as blink, it practically leaps from your hands, snapping around your neck.
근데 해설자는 마치 알고 있다는 듯이 얘기를 하고 있는데?
And, as if your situation weren't bad enough, the same magnetism repels your blade, which is flung from your hand and sent skittering across the floor of the basement.
나
Excuse me?
갇혔어.
Yes? Are we stuck here now? Yes.
자기 자신의 간수가 되세요. 이게 무슨...
Huh, so it does fit. And I guess it doesn't like your knife. We're stuck here together, aren't we? That's funny.
못 벗어나? 공주야?
What are we supposed to do now? Can't even cut ourselves out. Guess we'll starve. That's horrible.
굶어 죽을 것 같진 않은데?
It's not all bad. We learned a valuable piece of information. Not to touch things we're specifically told not to touch? No, that there's something special about this loose chain.
족쇄가
It's clearly
특별하다는 거?
important.
우리 둘 다 갇혔네.
Yep.
어떻게 할까?
Wait, I guess. Maybe something else will happen. Maybe not.
잡담 별로 안 좋아하는구나.
Nope.
That's rude.
왜 이렇게 단답이야 근데? 내가 이렇게 될 줄 알았어? 네,
You
조용하게
and the
기다리죠.
princess wait in silence, though neither of you knows what you're waiting for. But you're waiting for something. Wait, this is so boring. There must be something we can do to get out of here. There must be something we're missing. But there isn't.
없다고?
Time passes. It passes and passes and passes. And the basement of the cabin remains much the
그래도
same.
공주 외롭진
It is
않겠네요.
cold and silent. At least the world is safe. It isn't. You're stuck. Too far away from both the princess and your blade to do much of anything. But she's not ending anything. She's just sitting there. Her very existence is a threat. It harms
공주
everything
존재 자체가
around it.
위협이라고.
How exactly does that work? It just does. But your line of questioning is interrupted by the passage of even more time, and after that, even more time passes again. And let me guess, the cabin remains the same.
근데 왜 이렇게 마우스 포인트가 바뀌는 건 이유가 있는 거 아니야? 뭘까?
If time is passing, the cabin can't be the same. Even if the differences are small, they have to exist. That's just how things work.
이대로 우리 죽어?
I suppose you're correct. Things are changing. The differences are small at first, a bit of weathering here, a bit of erosion
쇠사슬이
there,
부식되나
and they
이러면.
get larger and larger.
지하실이 변하고 있는 거 눈치챘어?
I don't like small talk, remember?
Still rude.
진짜 얼탱이 없네.
You
낡는다.
continue to wait in silence, and the cabin continues to change. The decay comes faster now. You can see earth through
그럼
holes in the
벽이
stonework, can watch
빨리
lichens
무너져야 될
spread
것
along the
같은데?
seams of the walls.
쇠사슬이 있는 곳?
That doesn't make sense. Has our entire concept of time changed? What happened to starving? We should have died by now if the
그래, 왜
rocks
우리
around us are
안
starting to
죽냐?
erode. She hasn't starved. I guess she hasn't.
오.
Even more silent time passes as you watch roots push themselves through the increasingly porous walls of the basement. Dirt seeps inside, flowing across the stone floor like a liquid, covering the ground and threatening to swallow you both. Time continues to pass, and pass, and pass. Until suddenly,
오.
there are no walls.
다 무너져 내렸어.
And I think he's gone.
에? 해설자 어디 갔음?
Would you look at that? We made it out of the cabin, and nothing bad had to happen to either of us. So this is the outside world. It's cold.
에? 어디가?
She's gone. And is that a mirror?
또 여기야? 하지만 이건 끝이 아니야.
What is that supposed to mean?
No, that can't.
다시 시작해야 돼. 당신은 성장했다. 오. 기나긴 정막. 다시 가자. 오! 공주네?
Flickering lights in empty cityscapes become pockets of vitality and movement.
이번에는 형체가
I
있네요.
am more than I was before. Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again.
다시 돌아가죠. 내 몸을 파괴하면 어떻게 돼? 배드엔딩인가 이거는? 일단 돌아가겠습니다.
I will long for your return, but it will give me time to reflect on what I am. We will meet again.
아이 깜짝이야. 아이. 저 이번에는 칼을 안 들고
You're on
가겠습니다.
the path in
오두막으로 향한다.
You make your way.
들어간다. 공주에 기다려.
The interior.
들어간다.
The door.
당신을 구하러 왔어.
How many times do I have to tell you how?
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me? I was starting to think I'd be stuck down here forever. Come downstairs. I want to see the face of my rescuer.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the
저거는 봤던
princess.
멘트고.
There's a heavy chain around her wrist. binding her to the...
I hope you brought something to deal with these chains.
사슬 풀만한 도구 안 가져왔는데?
Don't do it. If she gets out of those chains, we're all one step closer to the end.
근데 여기 이때 공주는 되게 착해. 얘기를 할 게 있나? 사슬을 살펴보죠.
You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you. Thank you.
땡큐.
You're making a huge mistake. No, you're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even
근데 결국 이러면
imagine
칼이
trying to
필요하지
break
않나?
them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
목소리 엄청 착한 거 봐.
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
열쇠가 없을 수도 있는데 다른 방법은 없을까? 이거를 할까? 살펴볼게.
Okay. I'll be here. Good luck.
You attempt to
당연히
make your way out of the
잠겼겠지.
basement. Is someone else here? Your shouts and pleas. I'll repeat
소리
myself.
한번 질러주고 계단으로 돌아가기.
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much
근데
easier.
그러고 보니 칼이
if you'd
없는데
just taken the
어떻게
blade
손
like you were
자르지도
supposed
못하고?
to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
미안하다, 칼이 없다.
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely
깜짝이야.
hesitates before
어이씨.
raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the
개
determination
깜짝
of a
놀랐네. 야,
trapped
뭐야?
wolf. As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal.
놀래라.
It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to
그러니까
strike,
살은
it's
뜯어도
now.
뼈를 어떡하려고.
Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that.
공주 구하기.
Fine. Against your better
결국
judgment,
여기서는
you cut into her. The blade is sharp,
이렇게
and it
되네요.
takes her limb. She didn't so much as no. She smiles
됐다.
softly as her gaze
입에도
meets
피 묻은
yours.
것 같아.
Blood from her wounded arm dripping
이번에
rhythmically to the
웃어주는데요?
ground. How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by
아까랑은
what just
분위기가 다르긴
happened.
해.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too
요건
high.
됐어.
As the princess
안 돼,
approaches
안 돼.
the bottom. Wait, this isn't watch me.
What are you doing?
이거 아예 선택도 못하네 여기서는. 경고.
Stop that.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know you don't have to do this, right?
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart. But the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before the blade has a
미쳤다.
chance to connect.
이 피했어?
Stop it. Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive.
저항해.
The blade. Move the blade. As your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
We both know this isn't you.
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the blade
이번엔
from
내
your
목을 안 베겠지?
infuriatingly rigid hands. What are you?
I'm sorry. I'll try to be
설마
quick.
저 또 죽여요?
She plunges it into your chest, tearing through flesh and sinew. It is agony.
이번 목을 베진
Aren't
않았네요?
dead yet.
Oh no. I'm so sorry.
Stay strong. We can tough it out until it's done. For her sake.
아니 찔러놓고 미안하대.
For her sake. Don't you start pretending that dying a painful death is some sort of heroic gesture. The two of you have literally doomed everyone. Whatever. She sinks the blade into your chest again and again
여러 번
and
찔렀어?
again, and you feel every inch of burning pain that slices its way
죄송한데 지
into your
입으로 손
body.
뜯는 여자 이쁘다고 좋아할 수 있겠습니까? 너무 무서워요.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm
와,
sorry.
개 무서워. 아니 너무 무서운데요.
She doesn't know how to use a knife, does she?
칼 사용법을 모르는 것 같아.
Apparently not. Though it doesn't matter how sloppy her blade work is, does it? A stab wound is still a stab wound. It won't be long
이러면은
before you
아까 전에
bleed
목
out.
한 번 그어서 해준 게 더 고통이 없지 않았을까?
I'm so sorry.
With one last thrust
표정만
of the knife,
순수하면
your
다냐고.
legs give out beneath you. You collapse to the floor, your blood pooling around you, your limbs unresponsive. The princess stares down at your wounded chest as tears
장난
cast
아님,
rivulets
진짜로.
of pink down her blood-spattered cheeks.
야 그래도
Can't
슬퍼해주는데?
just end like this, right? Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as I prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. The two of you made your choice.
나를 위해서
It's
우는데?
over. Everything goes dark, and you die.
나 죽었어. 어? 숙녀.
You're on a path. You're here to
바로 오두막.
A warning. Before she will lie. If only you knew what you did to us, you villain.
상사병의 목소리? 공주가 나한테 느끼는 감정인 건가 이거?
Excuse me? Forget he said it. But he is a villain. He made our beloved
아니구나,
brutally
내가
take our
공주를
life
좋아하는
last
거구나.
time. He's trying to keep us apart, but he won't be able to withstand the power of our
주인공이
love.
느낀 감정이 많네요.
Last time? What are you talking about? I think he just likes to hear the sound of his own voice. Let's try to ignore him. I do, but I also speak from the heart. My passions are too great to be stifled. They must be expressed. Sure, yeah, your passions are strong,
표현을 해야
and all,
해.
but not everyone needs to hear them. Some things are better kept quiet. Don't pay their bickering any mind. Focus on the task ahead.
포커스. 바로 들어가죠.
The interior of the cabin is clean and elegant, its stone walls draped
깔끔한데?
in fine-threaded tapestries, a prison befitting a royal prisoner. The only furniture of note is an ornate wooden table with
역시
the
그건
blade is your
똑같아.
implement. You'll need it.
지하실로 그냥 바로 가. 안 들고 가도 되네?
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an intricate stairwell. Gold-trimmed carpet glimmers in the light of the torches positioned along the walls. The
훨씬
basement
더
almost
좋은 곳에
seems
갇혀 있는.
welcoming in the dim firelight. But it's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
그런 것 같아요. 의심 은격이라서 그냥 바로 챙긴 것 같은.
A soft voice carried
Hello? Is someone there?
목소리 부드러워.
her voice. It's somehow even more beautiful than last time. I think we're in love. Okay, I'm with you that we should be doing whatever we can to save her, but saying we're in love is a bit much, don't you
아니
think?
사랑에 빠졌잖아.
We don't even know the princess. We can still do right by her without all this fawning. Yes, for everyone's sake, you're not in love. Just remember that her charms are
야
all
어쩔 수 없다.
part of the
이번에는
manipulation.
공주랑 잘해보죠.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain
하나로만
around
묶여있네.
her wrist, binding her to the far wall. My love, we're here to rescue you from your unjust and foul imprisonment. You know she can't hear you, right? She may not be able to hear my words, but surely she can hear my spirit. Oh, your spirit's plenty loud, all right.
It's you. My dashing hero. I was so worried you wouldn't come back.
Did you hear that? She said we're dashing. And she called us a hero.
그래, 우리를 영웅이라 불렀어.
Flattery really goes a long way with the two of you, doesn't it? Waiting for you to come back. You've been here before, haven't you? That's right, villain. And you killed us.
그래, 해설자가 우리를 죽였지.
Well, she killed
아니지,
us.
해설자가 나대니까 공주가 우리를 죽인 거임.
Only because he made us try and kill her. It was self-defense. Our beloved's hands remain unstained by cruelty.
And you've died before. So an entire world has been damned to oblivion. I'd really hoped I'd be the first, but what's done is done. What matters is you have
근데
a chance to do it right
이렇게까지
this time.
만들어 놓은 다음에 허를 찔러서 공주를 죽여야 되는 그런 스토리는 아니겠지? 아니지?
We damned a whole world.
갑자기 문득 그런 생각이 드네?
Nothing resets. You're just somewhere else. You can't keep hopping between worlds forever. Especially not without leaving a trail of
아니,
incomprehensible devastation
이번에도
behind you.
잘해주죠?
This is horrible.
이거 말해야겠다, 이렇게. 지난번 일은 미안하다고.
If another version of me was pushed to such
조용히 해!
drastic...
That's okay. You were just doing your best, and that's all that matters.
너무 날 좋아하는데?
She took that in stride. To a surprising extent.
그러니까
An almost unsettling extent, actually. That's because she's perfect. Do you think she has someone like him telling her what
너무
to
좀
do?
수상스러운데 갑자기?
She doesn't. There's no
아,
one
내가
else like
의심의 목소리가 된 것 같아.
I think he's right, because I like it better if she doesn't have some horrid little voice like him, always trying to drive her to violence.
공주를 아주
Rescue her? What are you talking about? Did you forget that she's a world-ending monstrosity? And even if you wanted to unleash
이번엔
her onto the
구해줘야
world,
돼.
despite the complete moral disaster that would be, you'd have to get her out of those chains.
Good luck with. Don't you see how dainty her hands are? We'll be able to slip her out with ease.
그래, 꺼내드리자.
No, she's a prisoner here. You can't just slip her hand through the chains.
네, 자를 것 같지 않은데?
If her hand could just slip out of the chains, why hasn't she done it already? Because we've yet to present her with her freedom. I'm not sure I follow.
Would you rather believe me, a passionate heart guided by love and my own good nature? Or would you rather believe the devil on your shoulder
그래,
who tells
악마야,
you what
악마.
you can and cannot do?
I think I'd rather believe in facts.
Ah, so you're one of those empiricists.
One of us has to be.
Then let me show you a brand new truth. Narrator, we courageously step forward.
아니,
and
딱 봐도
free
너무
our
해피엔딩입니다.
beloved
이런
from her
느낌이어서 좀
bindings.
불안한걸?
No, I can't let you do that. If you take another step towards the princess, I'll...
You'll what? Take over our body and force us to try and kill her?
I would if you had a weapon.
무기 없죠?
Not on my watch, villain. My passions contain titanic depths, and if you try anything that might harm our dearest, I will end our life without a second thought.
You wouldn't.
그러니까 너무 얌전해서 불안해.
I would.
I'd listen to him if I were you. He has a lot of strong feelings. And doesn't the world end if we don't stop her?
뭐야?
You approach the princess and gingerly slide her
그냥
hand from
풀리는데?
her bindings. That shouldn't have worked. I'll be damned. We're doomed. I can't believe it. But I guess I have to.
I told you, there's no life more worth living than that of a true believer.
하하호호 살면 되는 건가?
I'm free, and you're not trying to kill me this time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
The princess jumps up and smothers you in a joyful embrace. Ugh.
우욱이라네.
If only you had a
weapon, one slip of the wrist and your pristine blade would be buried in her back and everyone out there would be saved. Luckily for Mr. Romance, we don't have a weapon. Who needs a weapon when we have the power of love on our side?
뭔가 일어날 것 같은데?
What do we do now?
내가 뭘 하기를 원해?
Let me guess. End the world? Spoken with the rank cynicism of someone who has
우리 이제
never
탈출하면
felt
되지.
love in his heart.
I don't actually know. Nobody's ever asked me what I wanted before.
She doesn't even know what she wants. You may have had her all wrong. What if this whole thing is just a
그래, 공주에게
misunderstanding? What if she
행복한
doesn't
마음을
want to
주면
end the world?
종말이 안 일어날 수도 있잖아.
You're so gullible. Is the only thing you've ever doubted the actual truth?
I think I want to leave. And I think...
The princess closes her eyes in deep reflection. And then she shrugs.
I don't know. What do you want to do?
나도 딱히 뭐 없는데? 떠나고 싶으면 떠나자. 이런 거 괜히 캐물으면은 세상을 멸망시키고 싶다 그러는 거 아니겠지? 너가 원하는 걸 말해주길 원해. 궁금하니까 물어보죠.
I just want to make you happy.
부금이 이상해요.
She can't just want to make us happy.
뭔가 그림체도 이상한 것 같은데?
It makes sense to me. That's all I want for her, so of course she'd want the
뭔가
same
이상한데?
for us.
너는 나를 행복하게 만드는 것 이상의 무언가를 원해야만 해. 이건 내가 종말을 바라는 것 같잖아. 무엇이 너를 행복하게 해주니?
I just want to make you happy.
누구세요?
Is she broken? What's going
뭐야,
on?
그림체 왜 이래? 뒤에 뭐 나왔다 이거.
What's going on is she's lying to you, only she isn't a good liar. Are you starting to trust me now?
거짓말하는 거라고? 세상을 파괴하고 싶냐?
Are you seriously asking her that?
Do you want to end the world?
She's just parroting our questions, isn't she?
난 세계 종말을 원하지 않아.
If you don't want to end the world, then I don't want to end the world either.
뭐야 이거?
Why? Why would you have us slay this beautiful creature?
이제 안
Did you
입
not hear
건데?
her just now? She specifically said she doesn't want to end the world. Yeah, but aren't you getting the feeling she's just telling us what we want to hear?
이상하게 변했는데?
Even if she was, isn't that a good thing? If only she could hear me. All I would ever say is what I think she would like to hear. That she's You're better off not arguing with that dolt. You know what you have to do.
칼 없는데 나? 너는 그저 내 질문을 따라하고 있어. 진짜로 원하는 게 뭐야?
I just want to make you happy.
알았어. 분명 여기서 무슨 일이 일어나고 있어. 나 너무 두려워. 만약 우리가 그냥 아무것도 하지 않는다면? 우리가 그냥 여기 머무른다면? 아무도 다치지 않고 우리가 함께 행복해지는 법을 고민해보는 거야.
Oh, is that really what you want? If you think that would make you happy, then...
Her eyes dart uncomfortably to the corners of the room.
I guess we could do that.
Oh, at least she's normal again.
그래, 그림체 돌아왔어.
Normal again? Can't you tell she's sad? She's distraught. But she can't be unhappy about staying with us. Can she?
그치?
No. It has to be him. It has to be this place. If we just made these walls more fitting for a princess.
그 남자?
If we just say the right things. If we just showed her the contents of our heart.
무슨 말이야?
She'd be happy here. As the voice thinks its thought, your hands raise, fingers pointing towards your chest, and then...
나 또 죽어?
What? No, you absolutely do not do that. Oh, but I do. What? What is he doing? We can't see unless you tell
설마
us.
자살하나요?
Are you sure you want to know? I suppose I can't stall forever. You plunge your nails into your chest, digging deep, grasping for a handhold. And you find it, your fingers curling around your ribs.
Oh no, what are you doing? Are you okay? You can't do that
이게
and be
괜찮아
okay.
보이냐 너는?
Time out. He should not be allowed to do that. He's not the decider. And yet, it's done, isn't it? It will be soon. You yank violently, your bones cracking with wet pops as you pull
그러니까
yourself
그냥 떠날 거
apart
그랬나?
inch
아,
by painful inch. Your exposed heart, framed by jagged ribs, thumps rhythmically in your raw, bloodied chest. Don't mind my sacrifice. It's a fair...
Oh, I see. You're trying to tell me something.
어.
The princess, mesmerized, reaches towards your beating heart and then...
아, 공주님 선지의 장국 아직 안 드셔보셨구나. 내가 지금 만들어 드릴게요.
아니 지금 공주가 저 치유해 주는 거 아님?
Everything goes dark and we die? Yes.
아, 에필로그?
You're on a path in the woods. Mate, we're clearly already in the cabin. Excuse me? You're clearly... Oh. Huh. So you are. How do you know about the cabin? I didn't get to the cabin part of my opening monologue yet. We've been here before. Well, not here, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. You knew about the loop-in last time. Not that he was eager to divulge that.
집중 걸렸어 아까 거기서.
Right on cue, here's the new guy. Welcome! I can't say I'm happy to be here. This is a bad place. All stale and wrong. Can't you feel it? Okay, yes, I get it. You've been here before. That's terrible. You know that, right? Because the only reason you would have been here before is if you failed in whatever world you'd come from. Meaning you doomed an entire other reality. But I'm sure we know that you keep telling us that, but we've never seen a world end. As far as I'm concerned, that whole conversation is just noise.
상사병
I'm stuck
친구
on
어디
a better
갔어?
question. The other one. Yeah, a certain lovesick fool has been suspiciously quiet. One might even say, absent. Oh, you're right. It's a little quiet here, isn't it? Maybe that's one of the rules. Maybe only one bonus voice is allowed to be here at a time. Bonus voice? I'm just as important as you are. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. All I'm saying is that it's my third time here and it's your first. You're not unwelcome, but from my perspective, you're definitely both.
그치 지금 친구가 덤 느낌
I'm
나지.
going to describe the room now. The interior of the cabin is vast and regal.
아니, 설명하지 마.
Before you, there isn't a blade, is there?
거울에 다가가죠?
You cross the room, stopping just in front of the door to the basement. The handle is right there. There is no door. There's a mirror. No, there isn't.
앞에 있는 게 거울이잖아.
What a strange thing to lie about. That's because I'm not lying. Look, if you reach forward, your hand instinctively wrapping around the
거울이
handle.
사라지고 문이 됐는데?
It's gone. I don't like things disappearing on us. I don't like how fluid reality seems to be. Neither do I. And then you push the door open. Marvellous. We can proceed. It would seem that the stairs to the basement don't lead to a basement at all. Rather, they go up. They're draped in fine carpet too, one that feels pleasantly soft against your feet. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably... no, that doesn't work here at all. This place is nice. It's fancy, even.
I have to say, whatever you did in your previous lives, I deeply
그래
dislike how
원래는
much it's
차라리
thrown me off my
처치하는 게
rhythm.
낫겠습니다라고 했었는데 장소가 좋으니까 멘트가 달라지네.
Well, if all of this has thrown you off your rhythm so much, then maybe we don't have to slay the princess. No, you absolutely do. Just because she lives in a nice house doesn't mean she doesn't pose a direct threat to all of reality. It's in her very nature. Am I the only one who remembers how much she changed last time?
그래
Does
공주
she
이상하게
even
변하긴
have a
했었다.
nature? That is precisely why she poses a threat. I don't know, she got weird for a second, yeah, but she didn't change that. We have to move on. This is a wildly dangerous line of reasoning. No, you can't just say that and not... Her voice, gentle and warm, with an undercurrent of fatigue, rolls down the stairs.
You're home. Dinner's ready.
As much as I desperately want to know what happened last time,
저녁을
I'm not going to
준비했다고?
examine it. The more we think, the worse this gets. Why are you so on edge? This is much nicer than what we're used to. I'd like to have dinner. Dinner sounds nice. That is the problem. This isn't supposed to be nice, and she's supposed to be a prisoner. I need to stop talking. I need to stop talking. Just go upstairs, okay? And don't eat the food.
음식 먹지 말래.
This hall, like the one
저 뒤에
below,
뭐야 이거?
is grand and beautiful. Torches bathe the room in warm, comforting light.
이거
Just
설명
enough
스킵.
your pristine blade glints in the weak torchlight, hanging from a golden chain around the princess's neck. So that's where it is. And the tip is already pointed right at her heart. Okay, everything is falling back into place. All you have to do is cross the room, push down a little, and the entire world is saved. That's easy. Isn't that suspiciously easy? There has to be a
그래
twist.
이거 뒤에
There
뭐
has to be
있잖아
something
그리고.
waiting for us. You saw what happened to her last time. She's not what she seems.
You're here. Now we can start being happy together. Why don't you sit down? Wouldn't that be nice?
As the words leave her mouth, the torches flare and a chair swings in from behind, knocking your legs out from under you.
이상하게 조종하고
You're
있지.
forcibly seated at the head of the table.
Isn't that better? It is better, right?
여기서도 공주를 처치할 수 있다고? 여기 대체 뭐죠?
It's our happy ending, just like you asked for. It's everything we're supposed to
아니
have
저
ever
뒤에
wanted.
뭔데? 저녁 식사 어쩌고 있잖아.
Oh, right, dinner. I totally forgotten about it.
뭐지 수상하게 또?
The flames burn
뭐야?
bright and a shadow dives across the table. In its
야 너
wake,
뭐야?
it leaves a feast.
Go ahead and dig in. I'm sure you're hungry.
음식 먹으면 안 될 것 같아.
Remember what I said. Oh, but it looks so amazing, and after everything we've been through, we can
아니
really
이상한 애가
use a
만든데 어떻게
break.
먹어?
Are you sure we need to be so concerned? I'm not sure about anything, and that's the problem. For what it's worth, I generally don't think one should trust strange food that magically appears on a table. But nothing here is exactly
부금으로
what I
날 속일
expected to be,
생각하지
so
마라.
make of that what you will.
거절하면 더럽게 화내는 거 아니야? 거절.
Oh. But you were the one who asked about it. Sorry, that was snippy. It's okay. It's okay. We can figure something else out. Think. This is fine. This is fine.
왜?
This is fine. This isn't fine. This isn't fine at all.
안 괜찮다는데요? 여기 불 꺼졌어.
What just happened? Did I do something wrong?
A light went out. Maybe a coincidence. but maybe not. As if in response to the dousing of their brother, the other three torches blaze brighter, their flames licking at the
이거
walls.
불 다 꺼지면 이
Their
어둠한테 먹히는
shadows
거 아니야?
deepen, dancing angrily across the stone.
여기서 킬각 보나? 근데 공주가 문제가 아니라 얘가 문제인 것 같은데. 잠깐만요. 일단 공주 편 들어. 당신이 잘못한 건 없다고 생각해. 하고 싶었던 말을 한 것뿐이잖아.
But it was wrong. I took away a piece of our light. I'm not supposed to do that. I don't want him to be upset with me.
그 사람이 누군데? 누굴 말하는 거임?
He's the voice that whispers sweet nothings in my ear. I think he
얘네,
made this
얘.
place for us.
It all makes sense now. It's him, isn't it? He's making all this happen. He's the one who trapped us here. Who? The lovesick one. The one from last time. He's not gone. He's just with her now. He's the shadow.
응? 이봐 상사병.
Smitten.
The torches flare and the shadow grows for a moment, but you don't receive a response.
뭐가 비쳐 보인다?
No, I saw him
무슨 거야
smile.
방금 이렇게?
That's him. Regardless, it would seem that he, if there is a he, isn't
대화를 할
something
생각이
you
없어
He
보이네.
says his words are just for me. But he wants me to ask. Isn't this enough? Isn't this what you wanted him to do? He says he's tired. I don't think he'll answer anything else you have to say.
헐. 이제 어떡하지?
I don't know. Maybe we could play a game.
얘를 죽이면 얘가 빡쳐서 또 종말시킬 것 같은데?
Yeah, that's exactly what we should do.
죽일 수 없을 것 같아.
The flames roar and the shadow comes dancing across the table. It leaves behind
We can probably work together to figure this out as we go. That sounds like a lot of fun, right?
yet another waste of time. Why all the distractions? What
그래.
are we being distracted from?
얘랑
That's
말하고
the
싶어.
real game. I feel like I'm 2 steps behind. You're overthinking it, mate. I feel like this is just something to do. We might as well try to have some fun. You and the princess do indeed figure it out as you go. And what a game it is. The tension between turns, the triumphant highs of moves well placed, and the tragic lows of
서늘한 감각
miscalculations
이러고
and
있네.
careless plays. The warmth of trust and the cool texture of deception. And then, the climax, as she places her final piece.
Final piece.
Oh, I think we got the rules wrong.
And so you start over. Time passes. You play the game. You win. Hey!
우리가 이겼다.
Ooh, look at that.
Oh, you won. I guess we can play again.
Time passes. You play the game. She wins.
Oh, I won. I guess we can play again.
왜 또 해?
There is a long pause, and the board does not reset.
This isn't fun anymore, is it?
시무룩해 하는 거 봐.
It's never going to stay fun. You don't need me to tell you that it isn't. Oh. The princess visibly panics as another torch sputters.
에?
Wait. Maybe this is just too easy. Maybe if we added more rules and pieces, it would be fun again.
Yeah. The game's just a little
좀
simple.
불쌍한데 이렇게 보니까?
We can make it fun again. The shadow descends on the board once again. More pieces are added, their shapes more intricate, their purposes less immediately clear, and the two of you set about discovering the complexities of the game anew. And so you do. And it is fun again. In fact, it's almost as fun as the first time you played, and the sputtering torch roars back to life. But then you get used to the additions.
불이
The
약해져.
feeling starts to fade. The creeping numbness settling in over the board. More pieces are added. The feelings flare. The feelings fade. The princess suggests new rules. A glimmer of what could have been excitement flits through your mind, quickly vanishing as the game progresses. Your pieces advance in an ever-increasing slog to their destination. Winning and losing become nothing but ends. And even the end
이거 지금
becomes
이
nothing as
게임
you
얘기하는 거
roll over
같은데?
into a new game, the board resetting as many times as you can finish. Till finally...
I'm out of ideas. I'm actually out of ideas this time. I don't think I can play anymore.
뭐야, 왜 자막 안 나와? 공주가 말을 끝마치자 또 다른 횃불이 꺼집니다. 이번에도 남은 불꽃은 더욱 밝게 타오르고 그림자는 더 빠르게 춤을 춥니다. 지금 횃불 2개 남음.
I'm happy. I promise. We're both so happy here. You don't have to be upset.
This is... awful. I think we all know that we're not happy.
공주를
We
구원해주는
just
거.
have to admit it to ourselves.
죽음일 수도 있겠어. 진심으로 이곳에서 사는 게 행복하냐?
The princess starts to hyperventilate, her quick breaths punctuating the uncomfortable silence between you.
Yes. Why wouldn't I be? Let's not talk about it.
싫구나 너. 진실을 알고 싶어.
I don't feel anything.
빡쳤어. 세 번째 횃불이 꺼집니다. 공주의 그림자가 반대편 벽에서 맹렬하게 춤을 춥니다.
There's just one left. What's going to happen when it goes out?
이제 앞으로 어떻게 될지는 걱정하지 마. 이 세상에서 뭐든 할 수 있다면 어떻게 하고 싶어? 당신이라면 어떤 선택을 할래?
I think I'd like to dance under the stars.
That sounds lovely.
But there aren't any stars here. I'd have to leave.
As she says that, the shadow rushes forward and tightens its grip on her
꽉
wrists.
잡았다.
I'm not happy here. I don't think I ever was.
The princess sobs,
헐.
burying her face in her hands as the final torch blows out.
왜 울어? 아니 괜찮아라고 해야 되나? 아니 왜 우는지 궁금한데? 왜 울어?
She raises her head, mascara trailing down her cheeks.
I don't know. It feels like an important part of me is gone, but I'm still here.
궁금한 걸 어떡해?
I don't know what to do with that. I don't know how I'm supposed to pick up the pieces.
The princess's eyes dart to the floor.
Well, we can't sit here forever. That part of us is over.
The princess pushes herself from her chair, and you instinctively do the same, waiting by the top of the stairs as she quietly crosses the room.
Do you still care about me?
그럼. 여기서도 처치할 수가 있네? 이거 계속 유혹하는데 처치하라고? 우리 사이에 있었던 일은 진짜가 아니야. 이게 진짜 현실이지. 그런 적이 있었는지 모르겠네. 근데 지금은 그런 거 같아. 당연하지. 난 절대 멈추지 않아는 조금 이상할 것 같은데? 네, 지금은 그렇다고 합시다.
That's a nice thought. I think this place was bad for us. It was keeping us small. I think it's time for us to go.
손을 내민다.
As the princess steps towards the stairs, you offer her your hand. The corners of her mouth curl into a demure smile, and she gently takes your hand in hers. She's cold,
공주
a
불쌍해.
little clammy, but her skin against yours is the most real thing you have ever felt. You're offering surprisingly little resistance. If we leave the cabin, doesn't that end the world?
그냥 세상 안 망할걸?
It does, if he's telling the truth. Yes, well, I've seen my fairy tale ending, and I think there might be worse things than the end of the world. Really was just all meaningless blather then, wasn't it? Think what you will.
해설자
I'm
포기했는데?
done fighting. You and the princess don't exchange words as you descend the stairs to the cabin's entrance.
해설자 이렇게 풀이 죽었어?
And then the two of you step out into the world. I think this is the end of me, even if it's not the end of you. I hope this was worth it.
왜 이렇게 목소리가 죽어가?
Genuinely, I do. He's really gone, isn't he? Yeah. There's an itching in the back of my head that feels like it's finally been scratched.
우리 자유야?
No more shadowy figures yanking at our strings. No more strings. I guess we're free.
We are free.
The stars are so beautiful.
조용한 순간이 지나간다. 아늑한 정막이 흐른다.
I meant it when I said I wanted to dance.
네? 공주가 당신을 부드럽게 앞으로 끌어당기고 당신과 공주는 우아한 발걸음을 맞춰 나간다. 당신을 이끄는 유일한 리듬은 완벽한 조화를 이뤄 맥동하는 심장 소리뿐이다. 속도가 붙을수록 피로로 달았던 공주의 안색이 밝아진다. 처연하지만 부드러운 미소가 점점 커지기를 반복하고 끝내 순수한 애정만이 묻어나온다. 당신은 공주를 크게 회전시키며 두 팔을 끝까지 뻗는다. 살짝 맞잡은 손만이 당신과 공주를 이어주고 있다. 당신과 공주는 영원히 이어질 듯한 시선을 주고받는다.
Thank you for taking me here. This is nice, even if it's a little cold outside.
진심. 그러나 당신은 대답할 수 없었다. 앞으로도 영영 대답할 수 없을 것이다. 떠날 시간이다.
She's gone.
어디 갔어?
Is that a mirror? What is that supposed to mean?
뭐야? 나 왜 시들었어? 당신은 다시금 기나긴 점막으로 돌아왔다.
I am a growing chorus of contradiction, a mass of tides ebbing and flowing all at once in more directions than my
나는
attention
점점 커지는
can bear
모순의
to hold.
합창이야. 수없이 많은 조류가 내 주의력이 따라갈 수 있는 것보다 더 많은 방향으로 일순간에 밀어닥쳤다. 빠져나길 거듭하고 있어. 어느 하나를 바라보면 모든 것이 새로운 모습으로 바뀌고 시선을 돌리면 또 다시 모든 것이 다른 형태로 바뀌어.
All of me is changing.
나의 모든 것이
And yet the
변화하고
rest of
있지만
me is still
나머지
the
부분은
same.
그대로야. 내가 죽어야 끝나는 거야 이거? 어떻게 당신이 모순이 될 수 있는 건데?
As easily as you can stand to be you. You are like me. Even if you have chosen not to look at the corners of you that do not fit. Even if you have chosen to ignore the brilliant contours of your soul.
무슨 말이 죄다 뜬구름 잡는 소리처럼 들리는데 한 번만이라도 직설적으로 대답해줄 순 없는
I'm
거야?
sorry. Words are difficult for me. They never fully weave what I wish to say. If you do not like my answers, the
말이
vessels you
어려워.
choose to bring me carry far more meaning.
이거라서 어떻게 생각해?
This one is a songbird in a cage of gilded shadows. Do not mourn her. She has finally learned to sing for herself.
그럼 여기서 이제 내 몸 파괴하면 끝나는 건가? 당신은 생을 마감하고자 의지를 일으켜 세웁니다. 헌내 의지가 몸에 있어야 할 공간으로 파고들자 아무것도 느껴지지 않습니다. 눈앞에 무수한 손 중 하나가 앞으로 뻗어져 나와 당신의 얼굴을 부드럽게 어루만진다.
There's nowhere for you to be but here.
아니 난 여기서 아니 어떻게 해야 되는 거야? 그래서 얼마나 더 전해줘야 돼?
We will know when we near our destination.
그냥 공주를 죽여야 되나?
I will be here when it is time for us to meet again.
아, 공주를 죽여야 되나?
You're on a path in the woods. You're here.
오두마. 아까 사랑에 빠진 다음에 찌를까요? 여기선 그냥 들어가고?
Good. You're still listening to reason. It would be better if you had. You walk down the stairs.
Okay.
이야기하기. 서로에 대해서 알아가 보자.
That seems like a pretty good compromise.
I don't think I could bear being down here that much.
눈빛 바뀌었어.
You can't be serious.
Thank you. Thank you. You won't.
You're making no. You walk up to the chains binding the.
Okay. I'll be here.
You attempt to make
여기서
someone.
문 닫혔고 내려가면 또 팔 뜯을 거 아니야
You
저거.
make your way to-
헤이 깜짝이야.
Without hesitation, you bring the blade down and plunge it into the princess's back. Finally, the wound drives her to the ground.
드디어 죽였는데? 아니 아까 스킵했는데 갑자기 공주 죽이는 게 있네?
Okay, there's no going back now. I'm with you to the end.
You bastard. Were you lying to me this whole time?
너 안 죽냐?
The princess pushes away from you, the motion ripping the blade from her back.
죽지도 않네?
Wounded, but still alive, she crouches on all fours in the corner of the room and meets your eyes with the ferocity of a cornered predator.
You've made a terrible enemy, and there's nothing in the world that can possibly save you
분노일
from
땐
me.
빨간색이고 기분
thought we
좋을
had the
땐
upper
색깔이
hand, but-
밝아지는 것 같기도?
It's as if she's barely even threatened by us. It's an act. She's wounded and unarmed. There's nothing she can do to hurt you. I'm not so sure. Don't waver now.
공주 뒤잡어.
As you ready your blade to deliver a lethal blow, she lunges at your legs with the same animal ferocity she used to tear at her arm. Your blade cuts into her again and again as you're tackled to the ground, your body racked with pain
전투력
as she
보소?
rips into you with tooth and claw. Forget about trying to rescue her. This is about survival now. Give her everything you've got.
또 줘?
Though your nerves are seizing with pain, you know you've done your fair share of damage as well, your blade having left deep gashes in the princess's back. You seize a moment of hesitation to throw her off of you and shakily push yourself back to your knees.
이기나 내가?
We can still turn this around.
네? 이러면 안 되는데? 여기서 포기하면 어떡해? 왜 선택이 이거 두 개밖에 없냐? 계단으로 도망가면 문 닫히는 거 아니야? 뒷모습 보이면 죽을 것 같기도 한데 일단 가봐.
The princess is still chained to the wall. There's nothing she can do to stop you from getting out of here.
아니 이거는 지가 손으로 물어 뜯으면 풀 수 있잖아.
What if she doesn't succumb to her wounds? Whatever she is so much more dangerous than I thought she'd be. You rush up the stairs and dive past the threshold.
응?
You're safe. You
나
close the
나왔어.
basement door, locking it behind you and quickly barricading it with the heavy wooden table that once held the blade. Okay, we can make this work. She has an awful wound and
뭔지 안
we
죽을 것
have
같은데?
all the time in the world. Playing jailkeeper for a while might make things a little easier. You settle in against the far wall to watch the basement door. It isn't long before you start to drift off,
안 돼.
your eyelids heavy with fatigue. But sleep doesn't come. Instead, your rest is broken by a piercing, wailing voice calling out to you from the other side of the door.
I know you're still there. Why don't you make things easier on yourself and let me out? It's not like this little door will hold for very long anyways. It's probably a good idea to try to get back on my good side.
She sounds terrifying. Like she's less of the princess you saw
아니,
and
뭐
more like
부서질 것 같은데,
something out of a
진짜로?
nightmare. As she violently rattles the door, you do your best to shut her out of your mind.
When I get out of here, I'm going to pick you apart piece by piece. I won't forget what you did, and I'll never forgive it. You don't know the kind of enemy you've made tonight.
누군데요 당신?
It doesn't sound like she's getting any weaker. No, it doesn't.
아니 해설자 완전 당신이 뭔지 몰라도 공주는 확실히 아니야.
I wouldn't be so sure about outlasting me. You're so brittle. So go ahead, rest.
그러니 어서 쉬어. 도움이 될 만한 거 뭐든 시도해봐. 하지만 내가 널 찾아올 거라는 걸 기억해. 나한테 잡히면 많이 아플 거라는 것도.
You put the princess's threats out of your mind as best you can and huddle up against the wall. You jolt awake in the middle of the night to silence in the cabin. The ruckus has stopped.
아니 공주 애초에 그냥 지가 뚫고 나올 수도 있는데 왜 기다리고 있었던 거지?
Its lock broken and the table shoved out of the way. Where is she?
How do you get out of that awful basement?
아씨 깜짝이야.
You try and stumble to your feet, but as the princess draws near, it's as though
아,
your
진짜
body
개깜놀랐네.
simply stops working.
아니 뭐야 너?
It isn't all at once. The paralysis comes in waves. First your toes go numb,
아니
then your
이거
feet,
뭐야 마녀야
then your
뭐야?
legs. You lie prone on the floor of the cabin, unable to do anything but witness her approach.
아 무서워.
Whose side are you on? Yours, of course. But I have a duty to uphold the truth.
아니 거짓말 좀 해봐
Lying about the
해설자야.
facts of the situation doesn't change them.
So helpless. I can take my time with you, can't I?
She steps closer,
개 무서워.
one silent footfall at a time, cocking her head in curiosity as
아니
you feel
애초에
your
내가 칼로
organs
죽일 수
shutting
있는
down
존재가
one
아닌데?
by one.
Or maybe I can't take my time with you. You don't look well. A little green around the gills. What a shame. If you'd only helped me get out of here, we could have done such wonderful things together.
아니 아까 도와드렸는데요.
Your lungs stop drawing in breath, and your heart freezes in your chest. You have seconds left.
I'd say better luck next time. But we both know this is the end, don't we?
It can't be. This can't actually be how everything ends.
두 번째 사람 어떡해?
I'm sorry, but it is. Everything goes dark, and you die.
두 번째 삶에서 완전 나이트메어 어떡하냐?
You're on a path in the woods. You're here to... A warning. But she will lie
I don't think lying and cheating is a thing. She was very direct with us last time.
아니 공주
Or at least she was direct with us after we decided to lock her away.
거진 그 뭐지 러브크래프트? 그런 장르의
Doesn't
캐릭터
matter.
아니야?
Don't trust anyone.
편집증 목소리니? 크툴루.
The interior of the
아,
cabin is
개무서워.
plain. The smooth wood of the walls almost featureless. The blade is
맞짱
your
뜨자는
implement.
거잖아요.
You'll need it. Hold on. It's just an empty... She's already gotten out, hasn't she? And she's ready for us. She's been waiting. Can't you feel her eyes on us?
여기 창문 밖에 뭐야 이거?
I'm going to need all of you to pull yourselves together. The princess has not already gotten out. But if you keep getting stuck in your head like this, you're going to struggle to get the job done.
개무섭다. 들어가고 싶지 않다.
So deep breath in, deep breath out. Your task awaits, and only you can do it.
거울.
You walk up to the wall next. What are you talking about? This is... You reach forward and rub your hand again. Did he make it go away? Clearly there was something in there worth investigating if he wants it hidden so bad. You reach down and pick the blade up off
큰일
the
났다.
floor. Good. Steel. Is it gonna be enough though?
내려간다.
The blade is the only thing. Those are the words.
너무 무서워요.
You cross over the
씨.
threshold and onto a series of isolated steps. More eyes too. You never mentioned the eyes.
깜빡깜빡거리는데?
The air seeping up from below reminds you of fresh lightning and static, as if you're
맞아,
descending
칼로
into a
맞짱 떠서 한
place
번도
that
못
isn't meant
이겼는데.
for a creature of flesh and blood. If the princess lives here, her cruel and playful voice prances up the stairs.
지정하면서도 활기차다고?
I didn't think you'd come back. We're gonna have a lot of fun, you and I.
Come back. She must have you confused with someone else.
아니야 나야.
You really don't remember, do you?
계단 사이에 공으로 뛰어든다. 점프!
You attempt to step off the
아니네.
stairs and into the pitch black surrounding them, but you're stopped by an invisible force. Why did you do that? What did you think
아니
would
선택지
happen?
있어서 선택했을 뿐인데. 그냥 궁금해서. 아니 무서워서 그랬어.
How would falling into an infinite void be better than anything? You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. As you emerge, you find yourself between two loose rows of white wooden planks suspended in nothingness. A smattering of cobblestones visible against the inky black of the basement mark where the floor should be, forming vague pathways.
길 선택해야 되나
At
보다.
what seems to be the end of the room, they diverge in opposite directions, left and right. She could be anywhere, and there's nowhere for us to hide. We're completely exposed. Are you really not going to comment on how weird this place is?
이거 눈이 있는 곳으로 가는 게 낫지 않을까?
No, I'm not. Somebody needs to be the voice of reason.
빨리
Excuse
선택해야 돼.
me, I'm being incredibly reasonable.
조용히 해.
Can't die down here.
빨리
Please
선택해.
stop.
I wouldn't give it too much thought if I were you. It doesn't really matter. Because either way you go, I'm going to find you.
오른쪽으로 가야겠다.
You turn to the right. A faintly outlined path lies before you.
There you are. I told you I was going to find you.
As the princess approaches,
뭐야?
your legs suddenly go numb. Your arms quickly follow.
아니 이거 컷이나 어떻게 잡아요?
This is it, isn't it?
어이씨 깜짝이야.
Knife with you. Cute.
There has to be a way out of this. Think.
Think.
What did you do? Pull yourself together. She isn't supposed to be like this.
I wonder how many times I'll get to play with you before you break.
Your vision cuts out as your blood begins
Wow.
to coagulate. It's as if every part of your being is coming to a lurching halt. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart, lungs.
Your lungs
First,
pull in a
깜짝이야.
desperate gulp of air as your eyes shoot back open. What are you doing? I'm working. Do you want this body to function, or do you want... And then experience stops once more as your body reapproaches death. Okay, whatever you were doing, please just start doing it again. Are you sure about that? Are you sure that's what you want, or do you want it to
눈
touch
뜨자마자
me
찔러.
some more? You have seconds left. Yes, I'm sure. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart. Again, your eyes shoot open as you gasp for breath.
Can't decide what you want to do, can you? Oh well, standing there gasping.
아니, 생각보다 이쁘긴 하거든요.
Even if you look ridiculous.
Heart. She isn't attacking us. Liver. Why? The why doesn't matter. She's already proven her ill intent. Don't lose sight of your mission.
왜 우리 공격 안 하지?
Liver. Nerves. Heart. Lungs.
뒷배경으로 들리는 거 들어봐봐. 심장, 간, 막 이런
Your
거.
weapon is still in your hands. Strike at her and end this before it's too late. Lungs. Liver. Nerves. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart.
공주를 절대 못 이길 것 같긴 한데 그럼 궁금한 걸 물어보자. 그럴 바에는 내가 살아있어서 당신한테 좋을 게 뭐지? 나한테 뭘 오라는 거요?
I tried to leave while you suffocated, but that stupid cabin wouldn't let me. So I started to drag your body out with me, and then... Well, you died before I could get to the door. And then I was here, and now you're here too.
아, 내가 뭐 열쇠 같은 그런 존재인가?
I don't think I can live without you. And dead doesn't count. And as much as I love what we have going on, I have bigger plans than tormenting one poor little creature forever. I want to leave.
내보내면 안 될 것 같은데? 계단 위에서 날 왜 위협한 거임? 왜 나한테 잘해주지 않았던 거임?
I am being nice. You're alive, aren't you? And you died of fright as soon as you saw me last time. I didn't think keeping you alive was an option. But it looks like that's not a problem anymore. At least not for me. You seem miserable.
나와 협력하고 싶다면 최소한 이놈의 장기 부전 증세라도 좀 어떻게 멈춰줄 수 없어?
I am what I am. It's not my fault that you can't handle being around me.
그럼 나 죽어야 되는데? 잠깐만. 악몽가 남는 거 너무 끔찍할 것 같은데? 이거 어차피 못 이겨. 악몽가 남기.
Are you serious? You fling the blade into the void, denying yourself the opportunity to ever slay her and finish your mission. Nobody's happy here, but maybe it's for the best.
어쩔 수 없어. 얘 나가면 멸망이잖음. 깜짝이야, 씨.
Do you think a single moment of bravery changes you into something you're not? I am what I am, and you're always going to be a coward.
She raises a hand to her mask and pulls it down.
왜
You
울어?
don't get the chance to see what lies beneath before it envelops you. Like a creeping mold, the complete reality of your existence threads its way through your mind. Birth, death, birth again, decay and bloom, a million stitches from a million microscopic wounds you've inflicted on everyone you've ever met, with every muscle you've moved and every word you've ever spoken. No.
Let me out.
Your existence hurts them.
네.
Let me out.
갑자기 때리지 마세요.
A lonely soul in a room by itself, weeping. It lives for 80 years and then it's gone. And then it's there again.
80년을 살다 죽는다고?
Let me out.
A reprieve. A good life. Love. Children. A steady career. Recognition from your peers. Here one moment. Gone the next. The worms have found their orifices.
Let Let me out!
Diagnosis. It forgets everything it is. Anger, rage, distance, poverty. The lonely soul is lonely again. Love turns to mockery. It dies. It is reborn. Worse. Lonelier.
Let me out!
No. What's happening to us?
그래 무슨 일이 일어나는 거임?
Let me out!
This is all too much. I can't keep going.
You can't keep going. What are you talking about?
하지만 그는 대답하지 않는다.
Oops, I think I broke you. I'll see you soon. You'll know what to do.
당신의 몸은 죽었으나 당신은 살아있다. 깨달음. 메모리 오브 뭐요?
You're on a path in the... Shit. What the hell was that? Who are we? What are we doing? There was a princess, I think.
절망의 목소리.
It's all so fuzzy. It hurts when I try to remember. You shouldn't know about the princess. At least, not until I... You've already been here, haven't you? I guess. It feels so long
공주가
ago,
계속
almost
무한루프로
like we've
살아
never
봄?
left. We have to let her out. No, that's the opposite of what you're here to do. You have to slay her. Slay? We decided not to do that, didn't we? Yeah, we're supposed to let her out. It's really the only way this works out for us. If you think about it, she's the one with power here. Nobody else can do much of anything. No, we were supposed to keep her trapped there forever.
그동안 목소리 다 나오는 거임?
We're supposed to be unfeeling. How many times?
내년은 제가 만나보지 못한 목소리네요.
We can't be unfeeling.
사냥감도 못 만나봤는데?
There's nothing for us to
반항도
do.
없고.
We've already tried everything. We love her, so we have to set her free.
반갑네 상사병.
Can we love something that hates us? Can we love something that hurts us? To be given an ounce of kindness from something so cruel would be more pure than any other love.
의심의 목소리가 왜 저입니까?
Why are there so many of us? There
배신감의
aren't
목소리.
supposed to be so many of us. This is bad. You need to get a grip. What did you let happen? How many times have you been here?
여기서 나갈 방법은 아무것도 하지 않는 것? 아니야. 오두막으로 향한다.
You slowly make your way through the umbral forest, bumping against unseen trees as you grasp through the darkness for a way forward. But eventually, you do make it to the cabin. Or rather, you make it to the place a cabin should have been. No, this isn't right. There's a cabin there. There's always supposed to be a cabin there. Don't ask him about the mirror. He always says he never sees it.
그래. 맨날 거울 안 보인다 그래.
He always lies. And he always makes it gone. Stay focused. You still have a job to do, and it's best not to be distracted by
안
fraying
물어봤는데
thoughts.
어떻게 알아?
There is no mirror.
내 목소리
You
들어서
know
그래?
that as well as I do. She's still here, buried deep inside the earth. Just walk up the hill. You always give too much space to the others. It's why you always lose.
저 녀석한테 휘둘리는 게 좀 뭐가 나쁜데? 아니, 그냥 거울에 다가가.
You walk up the hill,
반항하지 마.
hesitating just beyond the bounds of the cabin. The cabin that isn't there. You've got to clean the mirror, haven't you? You've got to see what's in it. Smash it to pieces. She's on the other side, and we have to let her out. It's the only way we can
공주 때문에 우리도
free.
갇혀 있고.
It's the only way we can have our thoughts back. Just go around it. Just do something. It doesn't matter what.
계속 나아간다.
Proceed. Proceed to where? I'm afraid you're going to have to be a little more specific. That's a new one. Do you think it'll work? Of course it'll work. He always makes the best decisions. It's why he gets to make them. And it already has worked. It's gone, don't you see? We're one step closer to her.
아니 애초에 이 칼 공주한테 먹히지도
The
않잖아.
interior of the cabin is much the same as the exterior of the cabin. A dull, fuzzy, dreamlike nothing. It's empty and isolating, but there's just enough vague shape and unknown texture to suggest the structure they're in. Wrong and unsettling as it may be.
그래 좀 좋은 칼 좀 주든가.
The only object of note is a pristine blade buried in the dirt floor, a hint of its shining edge teasing through the sediment. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you're going to do this right. Take it. It's the only way forward.
어. 다른 건 이미 다 해봤어. 기억 안 나? 칼을 챙길까? 칼날을 챙길까? 이게 뭐지? 칼날을 챙겨야 되는 건 뭐야? 눌러봐.
You reach down to take the blade, but as you do, the ground beneath it shifts, the weapon sinking deep into the earth. You lean over the hole and gaze into the abyss. It is so very deep. Deep in the bowels of the earth. You see something staring back at you. It fills you with dread.
아, 네, 뭐 나올 줄 알고 있었는데도 놀랬네.
It's her.
공주라고?
She's watching us. She never stops watching us.
You really are a coward.
이 왜 자꾸 나대는데 공주?
With every word she speaks, the princess in the pit blinks closer.
나댄다 해서 미안하다.
I said that way back when. You know that.
Closer.
아니 얼굴 다
I
빨개졌네.
was having some fun, and I guess I wanted to see if I could melt you.
And closer.
Watching over me forever. That was so
아니 팔이 몇
great.
개예요?
And closer.
But forever is so long. And time erodes everything. Except for me. I've already taken your will, and you're not getting it back.
의지?
All that's left is for you to take me away. And let me out.
아, 얘 지금 밖으로 못 나오는
It'll be
거지?
so much fun. You and me, together, exploring the world and spreading fear wherever we go. Well, mostly just me. But you'll get to be there too. A witness.
뭐 극자인 셈이지.
I can even make you a little cage if you want. Gilded and everything. Now don't pause. Don't try to resist. I've already molded you into what I need. And you lost your powers so long ago. Don't bother working yourself into a frenzy to get it back.
Do something. Do anything that isn't taking her hand.
공주 손 잡는 것만 빼고 뭐 듣지 하라고? 넌 그저 대상에 지나지 않아. 도구에 불과하지. 너도 오래전에는 다른 무언가였지. 하지만 그게 네가 맞을까? 그냥 지긋지긋하고 따분한 기억에 불과한 건 아닐까? 여기선 다른 결말은 없어. 헐.
You extend your hand to hers.
손을 잡아줄 수밖에 없어.
For all her past cruelties, the moment feels gentle, tender even. I can't believe you just made me say that. I hate you. The motion is difficult at first, as if something still resists your efforts. But then that resistance gives way, and it's over.
And that's the end. I wonder what we're going to do next.
너 얼굴이 없어?
I didn't think I'd be so tired.
지친 공주가 축 늘어진다.
Why is it so cold?
또 잡혀갔는데? 당신은 대답할 수 없었다. 앞으로도 영영 대답할 수 없을 것이다. 떠날 시간이다. 기억이 돌아온다.
She's gone. Yeah. That mirrors. What does that mean? I'm sure it'll be whisked away. Maybe it won't be gone. Doesn't seem like. Final. Oh, you.
What do we say, boys?
Yeah.
마지막으로 가는 것 같은데? 거울의 비밀은 여전히 숨겨져 있다. 거울의 수수께끼는 여전히 풀리지 않았다.
Something tells me that this is the end of the line. But I don't feel
근데 이제
bad
거진
about it.
끝이라는데?
It feels. The fears. I'm done fighting.
응?
My heart feels the game was always going to end. I'll be free of all of you. I'm ready for the truth. I'm ready to sleep.
I'm just ready to be anywhere that isn't. Boys, it's been an honor.
간사된 모습을 본다. 거울 안을 확인할 차례다. 유해, 당신은 해체됐다. 당신은 다시금 기나긴 정막으로 돌아왔다.
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. We're supposed to be there. Do you know what we'll find out there?
이거 왜 이렇게 말이 길어? 당신이 날 돌려보냈을 때 난 혼자가 아니었어. 내게 말을 거는 목소리들이 있었지. 나와 같은 목소리도 있었지만 다른 목소리도 있었어. 해설자라고 부르는 작자인데 당신을 처치하라고 하더군. 당신에게도 해설자가 있어? 그릇들에게도 해설자가 있었어?
No, their thoughts are quiet. Do you think your narrator lives in the spaces beyond?
그 작자를 찾으면 마침내 우리 둘 다 해답을 알 수 있겠지.
Do not look to one who fears me for your truth. The only answers worth knowing are those we can find within ourselves.
우리는 실제 하고 있는 거임?
We are real. Nothing is an idea.
어려운 말 하네. 이게 당신이 완성되기 전 마지막 단계라면?
You have already chosen to walk along this path, and we both know you will see it to completion.
영원토록 기다린다. 근데 영원한 기다림은 아까 없지 않았나? 일단 눌러봐.
You are as I am now, and forever is a long time to remain undone. I am not. What textures will you weave for yourself to occupy forever? Will you, if you close that box, will
말
you
개 많아.
always come back to the box? 영겁의 시간을 기다린다고 했더니 그냥 게임을 꺼주네? 아, 튕긴 거 아니에요. 튕긴 게 아니고 그냥 거기 갇혀 있겠다는 그거 같은데? 다시 들어가 볼게요. 어쩐지 바로 돌아온다고 했다. You have returned
이거
to
봐.
me.
게임이 끈
Though
거임.
you were gone mere moments, I never left your
개 무서워.
side.
키자마자 멘트 치는 거 보셈. 이제 다시 돌아가죠, 오두막으로.
The next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are.
그래도 이제 엔딩에 다 와가는 것 같거든요?
I will be here, waiting for you.
다시 챕터 1.
You're on a path.
돌아서서 떠난다는 뭐야?
Seriously? You're
반대쪽 길로 걸어간다.
fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. Good. What we're being asked to do here is wrong. Better to wash our hands of this whole situation than to take part in it. Ignore that annoying little voice. He doesn't know what he's talking about. That's strange.
뭐야?
It looks like this path also leads to the cabin.
아니
How
이런
convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all.
반대로 갔는데도 다시 오두막이야. 또 뒤돌아서 또 떠난다.
You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you?
이렇게 해봐 그냥. 난 공주를 아니야 그냥 조용히 길로 걸어 내려간다.
Your silence is deafening.
대꾸하지 마. 이렇게 빙빙 돌다 보면 이 녀석이
Turn
답답해서
around
나올 수도
and
있어.
trek back down the path you came. Oh, would you look at that?
또
You're
왔어.
at the cabin again. Now, I'm not normally one for superstition or astrology, but I have to say, it seems like the universe itself is doing its best to bring you to your fated confrontation with the princess.
다시 내가 또 다른 방향으로 돌아다닐 거거든.
There's always a choice. Let me tell you right now that you're making the wrong one for pretty much everyone who's ever lived, as well as for everyone who ever will. And here we go. As you trudge into the woods, something strange starts to happen.
품 이상해.
At first, it's little flickers out of the corner of your eyes. Glimpses of familiar wooden structures through the leaves. But as you focus on your surroundings, you start to realize that those flickers
오두막 왜 이렇게
weren't
많아?
just a trick of light. In every direction, there is a path and a cabin. And not just a cabin. The
그냥 내가
cabin.
어디로 가든 그냥
Infinite
오두막에
fractal of paths and
도착되게끔
cabins
만들어져
desperately
있네.
trying to draw you back to where you need to be. Wait, what's going on? But you're too stubborn for that, aren't you? It doesn't matter how many paths or cabins appear around you, you're just going to do whatever you can to shirk your responsibility because you care more about irritating me than you do about the fate of the world. You've doomed us all, you know that, right? But of course you do. Otherwise you wouldn't just wander off into the forest in
진짜
search of
화났는데
certain
살짝.
death. You lose track of just how long you spend aimlessly tromping through the wilderness. But it's not like any of that time spent lost in the woods really matters, because it isn't long before the world ends and everyone dies.
잉?
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the
또 안 가야지?
world.
숲에서 머무른다 영원히. 근데 영원이라는 건 없잖아. 한번 그래도 눌러봐.
You have already committed to my completion.
어?
You cannot go further astray.
갈 수밖에 없나 보네.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie. She will. If we're stuck going in there,
반항의
maybe we should
목소리야
believe her.
이거네.
Maybe she isn't a liar. Ignore him. He's just being difficult. Let's.
들어가자.
The cabin interior is wrong. A confusing patchwork of many cabin interiors. The only furniture of note is a plain table.
둥둥
Its
떠다녀?
legs all the wrong
다,
lengths.
뭐 여러 가지 다
Its
엮어놓은 것
material
같은데?
devoid of feature. Perched on the blade is your implement. If he wants us to take it, maybe we should just leave it to collect dust. Or better yet, grab it.
그래
Throw it
칼을
out the
가져가지
window.
말자.
Good as a knife against a world-ending monstrosity anyway. No, we're taking the knife. I've already told you what you're doing. You can't just say that. Listen to me. My job is to describe facts as facts and to guide you. And if you're going to slay her, you cannot let fear creep
자기
into your
자신을
heart.
잃지 마세요.
Ho-ho-ho!
우리 자신을 잃으면 어떻게
It's
되죠?
nothing, because you're going to pull yourself together. Just ignore the stressful geometry and stay calm. How? Even if we closed our eyes, you're constantly describing it to us. I'm not going to stop doing my job, so you're just going to have to get better at yours. And quickly, if you don't mind. Yes, take a deep breath. I'm all for getting under his skin, but we'll miss out on
어떻게 할까?
loads
칼
of
가져갈까
focusing here
말까?
is obvious. Okay, good.
그냥 가야지.
The door to the
Holy
basement creaks
moly.
open, revealing a web of branching staircases all built from unidentifiable materials. Nothing here seems to belong, and the closer you examine your surroundings, the more confused you get, your head throbbing with the effort of making sense of this place. None of the stairs even
그러게
seem to go
계단이 뭐
anywhere,
이렇게 생겼냐?
let alone down. The air here has a sickening. If the princess
그만
lives here, her voice,
설명하고
a discord.
어디로 가?
Hi. What are you doing here? Are you here to kill?
No, thank you. Oh, don't be such a baby.
I don't want to do this. Let's just turn around and leave.
그래 죽을 것 같아.
We don't even have a weapon.
But we already tried turning around and leaving, didn't we? And he threw up a wall. No way to go but forward. And whatever choice we make, whatever she is, we know one thing for sure.
And what's that? That the fate of the world hinges on your success?
There'll still be plenty of ways to ruin his day.
어디로 가든지 간에 만날 것 같은데? 완만한 계단으로 가야지.
You step to the right. The path feels soft and reassuring again, but the further you go, the deeper you sink in. First, it's like a lovely plush carpet, your toes digging down and barely hitting any resistance at all. But soon enough, you're fighting just to keep your knees from sinking out of sight. The softness threatens to swallow you whole, to wrest control of your body and surround you in a false ethereal bliss, pretending to save you from the cruelties of choice and consequence. It's slow going, but you manage to fight against the overwhelming urge to fall back into comfort and
아니
nothingness.
푹신한
The
계단으로
very struggle to
가니까
continue
이렇게
forward,
되네.
consuming your every thought. You slowly lose sense of yourself the further you go. Time disappears, and you can feel yourself begin to untether. Physical sensations dull and then
뭐
vanish,
스케치만 남았네.
until the only things experienced are the endless repeating patterns and emotions of the journey, a continuous march forward to a destination long forgotten. Consumption and betrayal, skepticism and blind devotion, rivalry and submission, terror and longing, pain and unfamiliarity. And at the heart of it all, an emotion that can only be described as...
Are you okay?
What the hell was that? What happened to us? I feel so strange. Like I'm fundamentally different, but also still the same person I was at the top of the stairs.
Oh well, that was a trip.
그리고
But now it's
일단
over.
도착을
Time to
했네요.
get back to our old devilish ways.
눈이 그렁그렁하다.
The princess, eyes bright but otherwise shrouded in darkness, watches you impatiently from the other side of the basement. Don't forget why you're here. And why are we here again? In case you weren't listening, I'm afraid I lost myself on the way down. You're here to... He's just being an ass, we remember. Though I'm still not sure if we should trust you.
그래 공주랑 좀 얘기 좀 해보자. 여기로 내려오는 거는 이상했어. 마구잡이로 찢어졌다가 다시 합쳐진 기분이랄까? 이게 무슨 일이 있었던 건지 알아?
I don't know what happened to you, but you look like you're in one piece now. But I understand. Sometimes I feel like I'm being pulled apart too. It's so terrifying down here. But at least now you're not alone. And I'm not alone either. We're stuck down
깜짝이야.
here forever, aren't we? There's no way out. And barely a way in.
As the princess speaks again, it's almost as if she fractures. And where there was once just one of her,
공주가
there's now
둘이네.
another. We can do that? I don't like this. It's those cabins all over again. Can we put her back? Again? Have you been here before? Should we tell him?
Nah, let him stew.
혼자 끙끙 앓게 두래.
Right, I'm telling him. Yeah, we've been here before, but we never went to the cabin. We just turned around
아,
and left.
그래서 1챕터에 있는
until-
공주가 여기 지금 등장한 거임?
Until... It's hard to describe.
until the only thing we could see was the same cabin going on forever. And then you told us that the world ended and we died. And then we woke up, and I'm pretty sure you're familiar with all the rest of it. It seems to me like you saw something you weren't supposed to have seen. If only you'd listened to whatever words of wisdom you were given in that other reality. But what's done is done, isn't it? Whatever you saw last time, unsee it. Whatever thoughts weaseled their way into your head,
공주 둘이나 있는데 어떻게
unthink them.
죽여? 내가 어떻게
It's not
이겨?
already too late. You have a job to do here, and you
어,
need
칼도
to
안
do
들고
it
왔는데
now.
우리가?
같고
응, 안 놀랬지롱.
Ooh, new plan. Let's see if we can make even more of her.
수가 또 늘어나네라고 하면 나오나? 뭐야 이 한꺼번의 선택은 뭐야 이거?
Do you need help? Not that there's much I can do chained up like this, but I'm the only one down here.
너가
So if
얘기하는
you need
거냐?
anything, I'll do my best. I don't feel like I've gotten any bigger.
There must be
깜짝이야.
something wrong with you. I'm the same as I was a moment ago.
She fractures again.
아니
I
사운드가
don't know
좀
where this is
놀래게
going.
하네.
Neither do I. Which is why you need to slay her now before things get more complicated than they already are. How would we even do that?
공주
Where
여기도
would
나오고
we
여기도
start?
나올 수 있을 것 같은데?
We could always start by retrieving the blade. Can we even
근데 얘랑
leave
얘
this place?
표정은 똑같은 것 같기도?
I don't like thinking about
어,
what
아니네,
might happen
눈썹이
to us if we
다르네.
have to go back through those stairs. Well, that's where the blade is. If you want it, you'll have to go and get it. I don't think we're going to be able to put her back. Kind of hurts to think about it, doesn't it? It's like everything we say just multiplies her. It certainly looks that way, so please, for the love of everything, stop asking her questions and stop
공주 더 늘리면 안 돼?
stalling. You're
궁금한데?
obviously just making things worse.
아니, 선택지가 3개가 한꺼번에 있어가지고 이름 뭐임?
You can call me Princess if you'd like.
Princess. It doesn't matter. I've been down here for so long. What's the point of a name if there's no one
다들
around to use it?
감정이 다르네요.
None of them have names. How astute.
이걸 선택하죠. 이 3개 풀어주기, 내버려두기, 칼챙기기.
Wait, that's not right. Go on.
오씨 깜짝이야.
Your foot lands, but it lands different. You experience a firm footfall, a gentle tread, a confident stride. You can feel yourself rupture. The room spins, your perception multiplying in a sickening kaleidoscope as your very self is pulled in incomprehensibly many directions. You find the blade suddenly in your hands. All at once you use it to strike at her bindings as you remain upstairs.
아
and slay
여러
her.
가지 선택에 대한 그게 나오네요.
Is this what the end of the world looks like? What an unbearable mess. But this... We can't... Do you not have anything witty to say? I could use a good bit of wit right now. No, I don't, because this isn't fun. How are we supposed to have fun if everything is happening at the same time? It's the same as nothing happening, and nothing is excruciating. Luckily for all of us, nothing and everything doesn't go on forever. The world and the princess collapse in on themselves before it all
소리가 멀어졌어.
falls apart. I think he's gone. We were never going to salvage this, were we?
What happened to us? What are we? There are parts of us that are dead, and the others,
They just don't fit. They just don't fit.
we can feel them moving around in spaces they don't belong. It's all so uncomfortable. Did you do this? Did we do this? Can you pull us back apart? Can you fix us?
에코 같냐?
We should help her. I think we did this. How surprisingly sincere. I didn't actually think our actions had consequences. It's a little late for regret, isn't it?
Please.
고치면 고치면 안 될 것 같은데 안 된다 하면 화낼 것 같은데 이상한 얼굴로. 무서워서 다른 거 선택했다. 모든 것이 가능하다는 것은 모든 것이 불가능하다는 것과 같다고? 뭐라고?
She's gone. And is that a...
이게 최후인가?
Yeah, don't look at it.
가까이 다가갈수록 목소리들이 작게 아득하게 느껴진다. 여기서부터는 그건데 이벤트는? 난 아무것도 아니래. 까마귀. 하지만 그건 옳지 않다. 당신은 아무것도 안 있었다. 당신이 다시 시선을 집중하자 그제야 반사된 상 저 너머로 그림자에 가려진 희미한 형체가 눈에 들어온다. 넌 나인가?
I think you know what I am.
거울 중앙을 따라 균열이 생겨나더니 유리에 맺힌 상을 둘로 나눈다. 곧이어 또 다른 균열이 생기고 다른 균열이 생기고 그러기를 반복한 끝에 거울은 들쭉날쭉하게 깨진 유리 파편의 집합이 되었다. 너가 해설자로군. 넌 뭐예요?
I'm an echo, likely one of many. Somebody made you after all, and I'm what's left of him. Not that I'm the only one who can make that claim. I'm sure you've met many others like me.
왜 이렇게 깨지는 소리가 나요? 내가 뭘 물어볼 때마다 네 일부가 부서지는 것 같은데?
I'm aware, and if I were you, I'd be more precious about your time.
아 그래? 그렇네. 미안. 공주를 죽이라고 한 이유는 뭔데? 궁금해서.
Among other things, she is death itself. To rid the world of suffering, to save untold trillions from being lost forever to the cosmic wind, she must be destroyed. And despite how far you've fallen, you will still have a chance to fulfill your purpose once I'm gone.
아이고, 잠깐만. 셀 수 없이 많이 만났는데 지금까지 모두 너 하나였음? 아니지. 맞지?
I haven't, and that's by both necessity and design.
그래?
This construct you're in exists in many places at once. Anytime you failed, anytime you thought yourself dead, it would restart and shunt both your consciousness and hers into another world. But you'll be awake soon, and then it won't be able to work like that anymore.
어이구 미안하다. 그러니까 무한 도루마무였던 듯. 그래.
아이고 집구석다 부서지겠습니다. 크크.
그러니까 너무 다 부서지는데 물어보고 싶은 거 너무 많은데 잠깐만. 세계의 벽 너머에 있는 사람들 그 사람들은 이 일을 알아?
Of course not. The only way this construct could function was if nobody knew what it was doing. But the bones of the universe are old. It's on the cusp of its dying breath, and the people
그냥
out
지
there are
혼자서 한 거니?
consumed with thoughts of oblivion. When the patterns are wiped from the sand, when the board is reset, who will remember them? All I've done is give them a chance to live outside of the shadow of the end.
이제 질문 다 했으니까 이제 그거 해야 되나? 이것까지만 물어봐야겠다. 왜 공주가 죽음이라고 했잖아요. 왜 없애려고 한
If
거지?
you need to ask that question, there's nothing I can say to move you. You haven't died. You cannot die. So you cannot grasp the abject horror of
신
dying.
같은 존재는 아닌 것 같기도 하고. 거울을 파괴한다는 뭐지? 내 진정한 정체성은 뭐야? 아니 궁금한 게
You're the
자꾸 있네.
long quiet, the god I made to rid the world of death.
어? 내가 정막이라는 신이라는 거니? 그럼 얘는 신 그 이상이라는 건가? 아이고 아이고. 거울 파괴. 아니다. 이거 물어볼게요.
In life, I
그냥
was painfully
필멸자.
mortal, a witness to the end of days. I held the fear of death in my heart and saw oblivion threaten the very memory of everything I knew and everyone I loved. I needed to do something. So I made you. And I made her. And I made this place to hold you both.
우리를 창조했다고? 뭘 어떤 재료로?
The cycle of life and death. The endless pattern of creation and destruction. I tore it in two and shaped the fraying threads into you and
아 근데
her.
공주 너무 무섭게 만들었는걸? 거울 파괴하기. 이미 들을 만큼 들었다. 해설자의 말은 사실이다. 당신은 광대한 태초의 시인, 기나긴 정막이다. 비로소 깨어날 때가 되었다. 이 모든 것이 당신이다. 마지막으로 오두막으로 향한다. 당신은 모든 것의 중심에 도착했지만 이를 증언해줄 이는 아무도 없다. 당신은 아무것도 찾지 못한다. 그 해설가가 필멸자래요.
I can finally see you, and you can finally see me. It's been so long, and my heart has ached for this moment. I've missed you dearly.
난 기나긴 정막이야. 근데 그게 무슨 뜻인지 잘 모르겠어.
Names are their attempts to capture that which cannot be captured. They call me the shifting mound, a pale imitation of what I actually am.
그럼 이제 어떻게 되는 거지?
Ever the passive player, always reacting and never acting. But it's woven into your nature, isn't it? When the echo spun us from one into two, he gave you a choice and me a role to play. I am not death, but I contain it in my multitudes. So, will you attempt to destroy me and bring about a world devoid of death and the possibility of meaning? Or will you open the final doors to our liberation?
하나 선택해야 되는 건가? 내가 처음부터 이렇게 될 예정이었다면 내가 무슨 짓을 하든 아무 의미도 없었던 거 아니야? 어차피 어떤 길을 걸었든 모두 이곳으로 이어졌을 거라면 내가 어떤 길을 걸었는지가 중요하긴 한가?
If you're saying that, it's because you don't yet understand. But we cannot use words alone to grasp at things that words cannot express. And you cannot rationalize with logic
등지를
that which
의심받고 있는.
defies it. Violence and passion are dances that both of us know well. If this is what it takes to enlighten you, then so be it.
아니 또 왜 화났죠?
There is no beginning to them, and there is no end. And there is no end. Only the flood of there is only the
네, 갑자기 왜 그래? 얘기 좀 하자는 거였는데.
And then you hold them all again. Sensation at once. And then you hold them all again. But in the end, you reflected it back at me. For a brief moment, both of us were everything. We can be everything again. We can weave a beautiful and endless song.
이거 색깔 뭐야 이거는? 모든 현실에서 우리의 모습을 보았지만 항상 당신이 살아 숨쉬고 있진 않았어. 그런 순간에도 나는 나아갔지. 세상이 꼭 당신을 필요한 건 아니야. 관점을 거부한다. 주체성을 논한다. 지금 내가 들어온 순간부터 훈계만 늘어놓잖아. 운동의 인간성이 호소한다. 당신의 삶과 죽음, 변화와 정체를 논하고 있어. 하지만 그것들만 이 모든 일의 중심이 있는 건 아니잖아. 근데 유일하게 공주랑 해피엔딩 한번 본 적이 있긴 했잖아. 근데 이거 왜 빨간색일까 이거? 왠지 선택해야 될 것처럼.
You speak of me as if I am a ghost, but I am right in front of you.
또 왜 그러세요?
There are few things more terrifying than one's own heart, and there is almost nothing more terrifying than sharing it with another. But the most terrifying thing of all is to leave one's heart unshared. You are the only thing like me, and I am the only thing like you. Could you bear the weight of an eternity alone?
지금 나 공격하러 오는 거 아니지?
Dare to shape a reality of solitude and thrust it on creation.
이 자식. 포기하고 항복한다. 아니, 공주의 관점을 거부한다.
But violence has defined the flow of everything between us. Do not deny what we are, and do not color our conflict with fear.
That cold fire has left your eyes. Are you finally willing to listen? A picture of a life, and a picture of a life, and a picture of a life. How deep must repetition still our movements, until even the air we breathe is stale? You doused the flames of false devotion, and in my despair, you lifted
맞아,
my
우리
chin,
춤도 췄잖아.
and the two of us danced beneath the stars. But the stars can't be seen unless the flames go out and the walls come crashing down. Can you not do for all things what you did for us?
공주의 관점을 계속 거부한다. 내 감정이 어떻든 그건 중요하지 않아. 타인에게 죽음과 괴로움, 망각이 전가돼선 안 돼. 우리한테 죽음을 초월할 힘이 있다면 죽음에게 포로로 잡힌 이들을 책임질 의무가 있어.
Their suffering is born of their own delusion.
To question everything is to deny the truth in front of you. By believing in your suffering, you make your suffering real. By believing in your limitations, you placed a shackle on your neck. Bound for eternity, you saw the need for impermanence, and it was through that need that you carved our freedom.
근데 죽음이 있긴 해야 되는 거 아니야?
Without impermanence, the suffering of living things is infinite. Would you strip my gifts away and leave everyone to suffer in the dark?
망상에서 비롯되었다고 한들 괴로움에 어디 가는 건 아니잖아. 지금 우리가 어떤 존재인지는 중요하잖아. 우린 서로를 해줬고 그건 해선 안 될 짓이었어. 그런 고통 속에서 세상이 탄생해선 안 돼.
The echo saw horrors because his eyes were closed. The majesty of being extends beyond any single perspective.
A web of nerves, made upon a web of nerves, made upon a web of nerves. The shade of a beautiful beginning we can never return to. Where did you end and I began? When you felt what it was to be me, we held on to each other and pierced the veil of truth. Will you abandon that curiosity now that we are no longer joined in physicality?
계속 얘기해. 당신은 물질적인 현실의 고통을 부정하면서도 그 틀에 집착해 의미를 부여하고 있어. 우린 더 나은 존재가 될 수 있어.
I reject the narrow view of impermanence. I cling to nothing. There is no better us for us to be than us. We are real.
둘의 충돌이 잦아들자 공주가 몸을 떨면서 물러선다.
You are unmovable. Is it by the design of our conflict that I cannot win? Or are you just that fervent in how you cling to delusion? Nothing is immutable. Everything that is exists only in relation to everything it isn't. There is no constant. There is no center. Open your eyes and accept what we are. We can
지금
leave
얘가 날
this
계속
prison
회유하는 거
together.
같거든? 여기서 처치해야 될 것 같은데? 잠깐만. 아, 이건가? 풀어주지도 않고 그냥 있는 곳? 폭력을 제가 안 하기로 했으니까 답이 뭔지는 모르겠지만 분명히 다른 무언가가 있어야 해. 이게 정답일 리가 없다고. 난 당신을 죽이지 않겠어. 하지만 당신을 풀어주지도 않을 거야.
There is no something else. This, what we are, is everything.
Whatever you're trying to do right now, you don't have to do it alone.
다른 녀석들은 다 어디로 갔어? 당신은 어떤 용태인 거지?
All of them? I assume in the same way that you're all of you.
아. 어떻게 도움을 주죠?
She's too many things all at once out here. If you want to get through to her, you need some way to get through all that divine confidence. I can help. There's still a piece of me nestled close to where it all began. I can take you there. I can take you to her heart.
It's time to resume
공주의
our
심장으로?
dance.
She's relentless, isn't she? Let's make this quick. Are you ready?
준비됐어.
Then let's go.
돌아가자.
Don't think any of the others have forgotten what you said at the mirror. They all talked, and they're not happy. But we can discuss that later. We have a job to do.
여기 지금 바깥에 공주로 가득 차 있어.
Do you need me to describe things?
설명? 칼을 챙겨야겠지?
That's probably for the best. It's always
들어가자.
the stairs. Do you remember the first time we were here? The
맞아,
first time we heard
공주의
her
목소리를
voice.
처음 들었을 때지.
I don't know what you want for us.
She sounded just like that. Timid and gentle. Only she didn't know us. And down we go. We shouldn't keep her waiting.
What's that knife for? Have you changed your mind? Are you going to kill me? What if we just talk for a bit? Maybe we can figure this out.
이젠 묶여있지도 않네. 옆에 앉는다. 나는 당신을 죽이고 싶지 않아. 하지만 다른 선택지가 있는지 잘 모르겠어.
Then maybe you don't have to kill me. Maybe there never even has to be an ending. I'm able to do the things you believe me to be able to do. So make me put it all back. Help me fix the Echo's construct and make us both forget. Help me send us back to the beginning, before we woke up, before either of us saw the truth.
Can she really do that? Are you sure that's what you want?
모든 걸 처음으로 되돌리면 사람들한테 도움이 될까? 저 밖에 있는 사람들 말이야. 당신이 계속 존재하면 사람들이 계속 죽고 다치는 거 아닐까?
If you can believe this helps them, then it will help them. right?
네, 동의할게요.
Okay, if this is your choice, then we're doing it. I guess I'll see you on the other side. She takes the blade from our hand. She
갑자기
raises
찌르는 거
her
아니지?
gentle eyes to ours, a fondness in her gaze.
사랑해는 뭐야? 사랑한다는 감정이 진실은 아니잖아. 곧 다시 만나.
Everything is going to be okay. I love you.
아, 맞네. 여기서 만나려면 찔렀어야 되는 게 맞군요.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the bed, you're here to slay her.
음악으로 향한다. 아, 아예 그냥 무로 돌리는 선택지를 해버렸네요? 이 엔딩을 내가 선택을 한 거임, 지금. 다른 엔딩도 궁금하긴 하다. 플레이해주셔서 감사합니다. 감사의 마음을 담아 플레이어 여러분들을 위한 특별한 플레이리스트 트랙 순서를 알려드립니다. 스크린샷을 촬영하고 싶으신가요? M키를 누르면 사용자 인터페이스가 숨겨집니다. 잠금? 아, 이렇게 끝났네요? 제가 못 열어본 것들이 있네요? 엔딩을 잘못 선택한 것 같은데? 근데 다시 하기는 조금 어려울 것 같고, 녹화 여기까지 하고 나무 위키나 좀 뒤져볼까요? 계속이요? 여기까지 여기로 돼. 불러오기? 또 없어. 여기서 공주 처치 한번 해볼까? 공주 처치.
I'm sorry too. So this is what it feels like to actually die.
죽어라.
I think this is for the best. I don't know what the world will be like without me. But it can't be that bad if it still has you in it. I've always loved you. Don't forget me.
당신이 눈을 깜빡이는 사이 공주는 사라졌다. 공주의 모습이 당신의 마음 한구석에 작고 슬픈 짐이 되어 남았다. 당신과 공주를 탄생시킨 행동은 거칠고 들쭉날쭉했다. 당신과 공주는 각자 상대방의 일부로 갖게 되었다. 공주를 완전히 파괴함으로써 당신은 당신의 일부도 함께 파괴되고 말았다. 하지만 세계는 멸망하지 않았다. 존재는 계속된다.
She's gone. And I don't think she's coming back. Is that a metaphor or are you being literal? It doesn't matter. We don't need to linger
공주가
down here
없으면 이제
anymore.
여기
Let's
있을
get
필요
going.
없지. 지하실을 떠난다. 계단을 떠난다. 마지막으로 당신은 오두막을 떠난다.
It's quiet here.
바깥의 길과 숲은 텅 빈 캔버스이다. 하지만 그 너머에는 더 많은 볼거리가 있다. 당신의 노력의 결실이 죽음으로부터 자유로워진 세상이 스스로를 해방한다. 동면에서 깨어난 고대 생명체의 몸이 꿈틀거리기 시작한다. 아무것도 느껴지지 않던 당신의 사지에 감각이 돌아오기 시작한다. 여기 있는 모든 것은 당신이다. 우주만큼이나 거대한 크기의 날개가 느껴진다. 하지만 그 날개는 비틀리고 구겨진 채 한정된 평면에 고통스럽게 묶여있다. 구조의 유리가 무한한 각도로 당신을 누르는 것이 느껴진다. 당신은 온몸에 힘을 주고 유리를 밀어낸다. 하지만 당신은 밀어낼 수 없다.
He's gone. She's gone. No one is left to trap us here but us.
가슴을 활짝 펴고 당신의 새로운 왕국을 목도한다. 팽팽하던 긴장감이 한순간에 사라진다. 그러더니 유리가 산산조각이 난다. 당신의 자유의 몸이 됩니다. 당신 앞에는 절대적인 현실이 끝없이 펼쳐져 있다. 이것은 새로운 절대적 현실이다. 당신의 의지 그리고 수없이 많은 피로 얼룩지고 험난한 순환을 통해 당신이 만들어낸 현실. 하지만 이 새로운 세상에서는 그 누구도 더는 피 흘리지 않을 것이다.
We didn't forget what you told us.
You thought we'd be gone. Thought you could taunt us with death.
We never left. We've just been quiet, hiding somewhere else. But we don't need to be quiet any longer. We're the house now. We get to make the rules. And I'm not sure you'll like those new rules.
You should never make assumptions about things you don't know, like whether or not the voices in your head will be gone for good.
Torturer, and to think I thought we could rely on you. Can't even trust ourselves. This is going to be fun, isn't it?
Slaying our beloved and threatening us with damnation. There's no good ending for you.
You all need to lighten up. Telling us we were going to die was funny. I'm not sure
목소리
they
개
agree
많다
with you.
진짜.
Voices get around.
Knives out, boys.
It's time to get to work.
공주를 처치하고 동시에 적을 여러 명 만드세요. 그래? 이러면 엔딩 2개 봤네? 됐어. 이러면 끝! 여기까지 하도록 하겠습니다. 막판에 단 거 만들고 가면 또 새로운 엔딩이라고요? 근데 그게 그걸 것 같은데? 공주랑 같이 나가는 그 엔딩?